All right, I think we're up and running. I'll double check our streams. 1 second. It looks like the horizontal's up, so we're good to go there. Let me go ahead and check our vertical stream, and then after that, we'll check our TikToks, and we should be good to go, friends. Let's see. Deconstruction zone. We're almost over on DZ land, friends. We're almost at 80,000. Huge W. I don't really have a goal like to get so many followers at a certain point in time, but it would be nice. It'd be really really nice to hit 100,000 before the end of the year. That would really make me happy. We'll see what we can do about it though. All right, we're up on both of the YouTube streams. Let me double check the audio. Yeah, I can hear the audio. It sounds kind of shitty, but it is on. It sounds a little bit high pitched for some reason. I wonder if my noise dampening is on high mode here. No. That could just be could be something else. Who knows? All right. Let me get TikTok going. Listen, I see some whores in the house. I see some whores in the house. I'm assuming we got some dirty verties in the house as well. All right, TikTok. Oop, almost screwed up TikTok prompt. Oof. Wouldn't be the first time I had some weird typo or spelling error inside of a live stream title. It seems to be a recurring problem for me. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. There's not much you can do about it. Okay, there we go. Now everything should be up and running. Fantastic. Glad to be here, friends. It's Friday. So I'm excited. I think, I could be wrong, but I do think we're going to have, most likely, we're going to have Venus drop in and share some time with us. We'll know when that comes. Before I do that, though, I got to open up the TikTok and make sure that you can actually see the TikTok guests. Give me a second on that. Let's see. All right. The things you got to do around here to crop an image is crazy. All right. Let's see. I'll work on that here in a second. Anyways, friends, I hope you're doing well. Fuck, that didn't work. Done cropping. Oh boy, that's crazy. Let me try this again. Let me just delete this fucker. Cancel. Let's see. Delete. All right. Let's from the top. Let's see if we can get this working out here. Let's see. I'm gonna bring that panel in real quick. Anyways, I hope you all are doing well. I got a couple super chats. We'll read some super chats while we're waiting for guests to filter in. I'm gonna open up the guest box on TikTok. If you are, oh fuck, the link on the screen needs updated. Good thing I noticed that. It's gonna be tiny.cc. Oop, there we go. tiny.cc/DZ live. Dope. Save, and we're good. All right, now we got the right link on the board, and the TikTok guest box is open. We got all the guest boxes open now, so we're good on that front. All right, fantastic. Now the only thing is, I gotta import real quick. I gotta import the TikTok guest. I guess importing the TikTok window may not be the thing to do, but let me see if there's perhaps a way to do this easily. Fuck, I'll just import the whole screen maybe. Let's see what we got here. What happens if I just do that? I can crop that shit down. That's what's up. Yeah, cool. There we go. That'll work. That'll get us somewhere close. I like that. All right, cool. We'll just do that, and then we'll save that for now. Boom. We don't need that just yet. Wait till it guest shows up. And then we'll do the same thing for our vertical stream. Yeah, give me 1 second. We'll copy that over. Okay, and that just, of course, it needs recropped. Not a big deal. I always forget. There's always something that I forget to do before the stream starts. I probably really should just put together a pre-stream checklist. But you know what? The streaming community, we're so used to already just like flying by the seat of our pants. It's, doesn't feel like that big of a deal. But we're here. We're good. Helping Mega Deconstruct. Good to see you, my friend. Says, hope everyone had a great week and is ready for some hot barbecue tonight. Rock hard for Doug, simply wet for Sharon. Q for C. This is hold on. Q for C. Q for C. This is a new hashtag, and I have to say I don't think I recognize it. But y'all know what Q for C is? Did I miss one? I don't recall. Let's see. Fuck. Oh, you have to help me out on this one, audience. I don't know, but anyways, and Horror's Rule. Good to see you, Helping Mega. Hope you're doing well. And also from Mike. Welcome in, Mike. Good to see you. Mike says, if Asherah was once Yahweh's consort, the Hebrew Bible is basically Yahweh's version of listen up, liberal. My wife left me. You're not wrong. Okay. It's complicated, we'll say that. So, like, on the notion that Yahweh once had a wife, it seems that wasn't the original state. So, like, it wasn't that Yahweh originally had a wife and then they got rid of her, right? That didn't seem to be the case. That seems to be the case with the god El, or in the Bible you know him as Elohim. That god started out having a wife. But when Yahweh kind of took over the pantheon... Oh, did I not turn audio on for TikTok? Oops. I'm sorry about that, friends. I forgot to turn the audio on for TikTok. See, that's what I'm talking about. Got to get a checklist. Anyways, welcome in. So what I was saying is Yahweh kind of appropriated a wife from El. El was the high god of the pantheon. He was married theoretically, or at least had the consort named Asherah, although in the Ugaritic text, her name is typically Atherot, and she's the mother of 70 sons. And those sons are tasked with like managing the nations. And in Psalm 82, they get fucked up and they get deposed. Anyways, Yahweh eventually, because he was a Judean god, probably started somewhere around where the Midianites were. But when the Judeans adopted Yahweh and then became the most powerful nation in the Levant, they conflated all the literature. They actually rewrote a lot of the stories and just put Yahweh in there. There's a lot of stories seemingly in the Hebrew Bible that were previously about the god El, or even about the god Baal, and they just kind of remapped it onto Yahweh. So from the evidence we have, it seems like Yahweh didn't have a wife originally. They wrote that story in for him, And Raul, hey, good to see you. Thank you for the $20 super chat. It says, hi, Justin. Just wanted to thank you for everything I've learned from your lives. I've deconstructed many years ago, but I now feel far more confident in debunking and combating the disgusting and poisonous Christian doctrine. That's what I would say. Yeah. And I appreciate letting me know. That's one of the reasons why, I started the channel, because, there's a lot of people that have deconstructed and like people give them a hard time. Like my initial impetus was when Rhett and Link, the two of my favorite YouTubers, gave their deconstruction story, and people just the Christians lost their fucking minds and made it out to be like they were stupid. I'm like, no, 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 no. These are legitimate concerns. They're not stupid. But nevertheless, let me grab our first guest, and we'll get rolling with the conversations. It looks like Finley first up. Okay,
Hi, Justin. How are you?
good. How you doing, Finley?
Good, sir. Quick question. I'm not sure what your programming is. I am an atheist, a new one, but I have some thoughts I want to run by you to see what you thought about them.
Well, this is just a debate stream. I do a Q and A about
Okay.
once or twice a month, and on the Q and A's, we'll take any questions and do whatever comes up. But on the debate streams, you have to keep it on topic.
Completely understand. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Cheers. Oh, that's nice of him to ask. A lot of people just go right into the just go right into the monologue right away. All right, I think I got that cropped about where I need it. Let me hide that up for now. Looks like, oh fuck, M's in the house. Let's get M's pulled up. Hell yeah, what's up, M's?
Hey, what's up?
Not too much. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you? How have you been?
You
I'm
know
losing
what?
my voice a bit.
I'm doing well. You know what? That does happen, but whether you had your voice or not, people are gonna complain about your voice because they're terrified of your actual arguments. They have to find a way around it.
What happened to your to the time you go live? You're going live earlier.
Well, so when my son is with me, I adjust my schedule so that I can not be up late. So that's what's up. We've got kind
Ah,
of a pretty long-standing nighttime routine because with autistic children, your rituals are very important, and so his bedtime rituals, you want to follow that,
100%.
the best as possible. So that's why got to take care of the boy. But you know what? I can't complain too much. He's a pretty good sleeper, and I worried that he might be like an insomniac like me, but no, it seems to mostly be okay. So it should be all right.
Insomnia is probably hell.
Yeah, yeah, it's not good. You understand the feeling though.
Uh-huh.
Well, friends, if you're watching and you're like, "Hey, my God is not imaginary," hey, you're in luck. We're letting everybody audition their arguments on the stage, no matter what God you believe in. The link on the screen is tiny.cc/DZ live, and if you're watching on TikTok, you can just hit the guest request button the old fashioned TikTok way. You don't have to use the link on the screen, it'll be okay. So we can take you either way. You don't have to have your camera on if you come through the non TikTok route, but you're allowed to. And there is an option. I haven't even tested it yet. I should probably test it. There is an option to pick a just like an avatar if you don't want to put your camera on, just like a little guest symbol, so people know that there's a guest in the box. But that being said, listen, Ems and I, we're nice. If you've got a God concept that is at least coherent, hey, we'd love to hear it. Um, Let me ask you, Ems, was there ever a point where you did have, well, you said when you were very much younger, you were very like convicted towards the religion until you started like finding all the problems. Um, was there ever like a moment early on in your deconstruction where like you felt like if you keep going, bad shit's gonna happen, and you're like, maybe I shouldn't?
What do you mean?
Like, you ever have a moment when you're like, if I keep on this journey of learning, it's gonna fuck my life up?
I mean, it already has. So,
I know.
uh-huh. So
Yeah,
I think that's what happens when you're in a non-secular place.
yeah,
So,
yeah. The situation
so
where you're at is very different.
mhm.
Yeah,
You
very
can't
scary
really do
actually.
anything.
I better get my spreadsheet open. 1 second. Gotta make sure and document these crazy guests. You know they're gonna be wild. That's a given. But how wild, we'll find out. every stream's a little bit different. I've had some streams where it's like the every guest was a crash out, and I've had some streams where we've had nothing but like cool, polite guests all night. It really is kind of a hit or miss. There we go. Today's the 7th. Yeah, cool. And I'm gonna write down first guest is Ems and got fucking cooked and roasted.
Me?
Actually, Ems cooked me on the flat Earth. You guys know about
I
that?
always think.
Yeah, yeah. Two, hey, thank you for the super chat. It says, hi, Justin. Sorry if you've been asked about this before, but how do you rate the Bible as a book? Do you think it's a good read? Oh, well, that depends on what you like to read. Do you like to read stories with intrigue and murder and sexual scandals and things of that nature? Hey, the fucking Bible's got it for you. Do you want to read a book about torture and all kinds of horrible things? Sure, Bible's got it for you. If you want to read a story that is well written, connected, has a thorough meta narrative, and has a solid conclusion, the Bible's not fucking for you. You're not going to like that book. If you
I
don't
prefer
like
Game of Thrones.
history, what's that?
I prefer Game of Thrones.
Yeah, if you don't like history and you don't want to look things up while you're reading, the Bible is not for you. Sorry, it's the way it is. Let's grab our first guest. Looks like username is in the house. We'll grab username. Welcome in. Are you at least 18?
Yep.
Cool. And do you believe in a god or many gods?
Yep. Yeah, I
Sure.
believe in a God.
Which one?
Oh, I'm a deist.
Well, when you say a deist, do you really mean deist or do you mean kind of a theist?
Um, no, I literally mean deist.
Okay, and are you like a deist in like the Spinoza way, or deist in like you actually think that
Actually,
God has agency?
I have no idea what Spinoza means. I mean, but I do think that God has agency. I'm
Okay,
confused. Like, what type of subcategory are you like? I don't know.
you're a what?
I'm a normal deist. Just a deist.
Well, I'm asking because they come in lots of different shapes and sizes. You know,
I had no idea that was the case.
everyone who comes up here has
I
kind of
mean,
their own
well,
thing.
yeah,
Okay, so what
yeah.
would be
I'm a deist.
like? What's the compelling reason to believe in like the deistic God? To me, the deistic God's like the minimal version of God.
Oh, I don't think. I mean, my belief of God is that He's without limits, like
Yeah,
unlimited by any way.
I'm sure you believe that, but why would that be a
Yeah.
compelling view?
Well, because by our current understanding of logic, it's more likely for there to be some sort of extraterrestrial, unlimited sort of interference. And once you like start looking at like the explanations, you kind of keep arriving at God or a type of God or stuff like that.
Can you walk me through that process? How do you get from logic to God?
Okay. So, do you believe in the Big Bang?
I do believe the Big Bang happened. Yeah.
Okay. What happened before the Big Bang?
Well, there's a couple different theories. The one that I think makes the most sense is a cyclical universe, where if the universe is finite, I believe the cyclical universe makes the most sense. If the universe is not finite, meaning it just goes on forever, then it seems pretty obvious that like our observable universe is just a blip inside of a much larger universe. Some people would call this like the multiple worlds situation. I hate that analogy or that wording because I'm not suggesting there are multiple universes like a multiverse. I think there's universe describes this whatever is in existence. So I wouldn't be classifying myself as a multiverse believer, but I do think there's good reason to believe that the universe goes on infinitely.
Okay. I'm not too sure. Like, I mean, it seems like he kind of got off track, but if we keep going back, I mean, whatever theory you believed was like the beginning of the Big Bang and so on and so forth, eventually you kind of reach this point where nothing makes any more sense.
Like
It
what?
doesn't make sense that the Big Bang happened, but we know it happened. How
Why
in the
doesn't it make
world
sense?
could like all of the matter because matter naturally repels each other. The universe is naturally
Matter
expanding.
doesn't
So
naturally
how the hell
repel
could matter?
Matter doesn't
Yes, it
naturally
does.
repel.
Okay, matter
No, gravity
naturally.
actually brings
Yes,
it
it
together.
does.
That's what the
Yes.
Cavendish experiment proves.
Oh, gravity is an aspect
Do you not know what
outside
gravity
of
does?
matter. The general understanding of
Right.
matter. I
But
promise I know
gravity
more about
exists,
gravity than
which
you.
means if matter exists, they're going to be attracted to each other.
Okay, is gravity a field?
Um, I'm not entirely sure. I think people are still looking for a gravitron. If if the theory is correct, like gravity is a field like the electromagnetic field or the electron field, and they actually discover that the graviton particle is real, then yeah, I would imagine you could consider it a field.
Yeah, but we understand like the amount of force that gravity assumes like on Earth, right? Or like, we can even assume it for like other planets, right?
I don't, yeah, we know how to
We
calculate
can
gravity,
assume
yeah.
the amount of gravitational pull an object assumes, correct?
Well, we can calculate it. We're not assuming it.
Well, I mean, like for extraterrestrial things, we do not know for sure, but we can assume it through math, all right?
I mean, again, I
Okay.
wouldn't call it assuming, but yes, we can
Okay.
calculate it.
All right. So does that force of gravity supersede any of the natural forces that we consider, any of the five natural forces?
I have no idea what you're
Does
referring
it
to. They
supersede
don't.
any of
They
these
don't.
six natural
Gravity doesn't
forces?
have to supersede the
Does it
forces because the
supersede
forces
and
don't
no,
work against
I'm
gravity.
getting there. Does it supersede any of the 10 natural forces?
Again, you're asking an irrelevant question.
No, it doesn't. It's
It
extremely
doesn't
weak. I
actually
mean,
interact with the other
What are
forces.
while it is considered as a
username
factor, every
username?
single other
What are the
force,
10?
essentially
That's not
almost
right.
almost every single other force, except for like
What are
some
the
of
10
these
forces?
experimental and very new ones, are far more stronger than it. So while gravity does play a factor, the fact is matter does naturally expand. Okay,
It
we are 99% empty space, far higher than
it
99%.
naturally
If we tried
attracts.
to shrink all that matter into a little cube, like
Yeah.
what happened, what we believe might happen in singularities, or what we believe the Big Bang was,
What do you mean we?
it's literally impossible. What?
You mean scientists,
What
not
did you
not
say? What do
we.
you mean we? Is that really what you
Yeah.
got from
Do you
everything
think
I've
you're
said?
part of the scientists?
I do
I'm just
believe in the
curious.
Big Bang. Yeah, I do
Okay.
believe
Have
in the
you
Big
read the
Bang.
literature? Because the literature says
Of the Big
what I'm
Bang?
saying, not what
I
you're saying.
understand. Okay, what does the literature disagree with me in? Okay,
It
please
literally
explain
says
to me what I was
that
wrong about the Big Bang is.
mass attracts because of gravity. So the reason why like these other forces aren't a problem
Mass
is because they don't
attracts
actually
because
work
okay,
against
okay.
each other. Like the strong
So
nuclear
gravity
force
is the
doesn't work
factor,
against
but
gravity.
gravity is the
In fact, the
weakest
strong
factor. So
nuclear
like
force actually works in
the
unison
strong
with
nuclear
gravity.
force is stronger than gravity.
I know,
Like I
but they work
mean,
in unison.
you
They don't work
understand
against
that?
each other.
They work like okay.
They
The
don't
strong
work
nuclear
against each
force
other.
repels. The gravitational force, by your own
No,
definition,
no,
it
no, 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 no,
attracts.
no. The strong nuclear force literally holds neutrons together, or protons and neutrons. So in the center of an
Have you
atom,
ever read any of this?
yeah, in the center of an
Oh,
atom, the strong nuclear force is what's holding the nucleus together.
okay. What percent of an atom do you think is empty space?
Oh, I have no idea. Most of it.
Yeah, exactly, man. So although like it might work in some models, although you can interpret it in some ways, the reality is matter does naturally repel itself.
No, it
We
doesn't.
have never even successly got two atoms to
So
completely
again,
touch.
the fact
Everything
that there's
ex-
empty space in atoms says nothing about whether or not matter repels. So all the
okay, if matter
particles have
okay,
charges. If the charges are opposite, then they're going to repel. If they're not
okay.
opposite, if
If
they're the same,
matter
then they're
doesn't
going to
repel,
attract.
if matter doesn't repel, why is the universe expanding?
Dark energy. Have you never read about dark energy? It's either dark energy
Something completely
or
theoretical,
the
something
result of
completely
a
something that
black
we've never
hole,
observed,
a
something
bounce
that
from
barely
like
even has any
a super dense
equations.
star
Like,
explosion.
okay, so you're just blabbering a theory. Okay, we understand
I
that matter
didn't.
expands. We understand that we literally have never observed dark matter. We barely even have like very little knowledge on how it works. It's constantly fluctuating, has extremely volatile math. So I'm going to ask you again, why is the
Mhm.
universe expanding? Can you give me like a more substantiated claim
Actually,
as opposed to
I
quote
just
unquote
told
dark matter?
you what is in fact the consensus right now, which is the dark energy is pushing it out. And it's like there's another option. The other option is that there was a massive black hole bounce. Now, I don't think that's widely held as being likely, but the other one, dark energy, obviously is. In fact, I've got a friend with a PhD in physics. If you'd like to talk to him, he's probably available. Hey, y'all in the comments, go get Dr. Blitz up in here.
Yeah, you probably should bring him up.
Yeah, you'll get an education.
Alrighty.
So, anyways, the point is pretty easy. You
Where's
believe in
your
the Big
friend?
Bang. I believe in the Big Bang. So I'm not sure what this has to do with God. Where's God come in? Do you think God is the one forcing the universe apart?
I'm saying that the Big
Blitz is
Bang
in the comments. Look at that.
It's
Jump in,
utterly
buddy.
impossible.
Look at this. Hey, you get your turn username. You get to talk to a real physicist. What do
Alrighty.
you think, Blitz?
Alrighty.
What's the? I was only half paying attention because I was doing physics.
He thinks the Big Bang is because a deistic God is doing it. You want to give the argument to Blitz that you just gave to me?
You know, how did the Big Bang happen? Like, what happened
I don't
before
know.
the Big Bang to cause it to happen?
I don't know.
Okay, there we go. So there's your physics friend. He came in to save you. He
But-
did a quite nice job. And
Again,
yeah.
your goal is to demonstrate that the deistic God is in charge of it.
Well, it's completely illogical. Okay.
That's
Literally,
what you have to
okay.
demonstrate. What's illogical
I'm
about
going to talk to your physics friend. Okay. Physics, Mr. Dr. Bliss. Does
That's my name, Mr. Dr. Blitz.
does matter naturally contract itself, or does it naturally repel itself in terms of 1 g of force on Earth?
In terms of
That's not-
1 g of force, I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
what that
not-
question
normal-
means.
That's not the
That
question
normal
he asked me, by the way. Now
on
he's
Earth.
changing the
Does
question.
it attract or does
Depend-
it repel itself?
So
What he's
depending on the
asking,
depending
what
on
he's asking previously,
Well, I
he
mean-
asked,
I mean,
does
like,
matter
atomically.
attract or repel? And I said it attracts because of gravity, and then he lost his mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware that it's a factor, but it's one of the weakest factors. Dr. Bless, do you know, in terms of the natural forces, where gravity is ranked?
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
Depends on the situation.
So I actually just made a video about the chart that you're referring to because I know exactly what chart you're referring to. But the point is that sometimes matter is attractive to other matter, sometimes it's repulsive to other matter. It depends on the scenario, it depends on the relevant charges involved, and so on.
But what
So, like,
happens if it
there's
gets
not one
too
easy
close?
answer.
What happens if it gets too close? Like
It
every single
collapses
time,
and
right?
forms a black hole.
It collapses and forms a black hole.
Yep.
No, I'm talking like literally, not theoretically, because we still don't
There's
understand
nothing
black
theoretical
holes.
about black holes. There's nothing theoretical about black holes.
No, we do not know for sure that if matter gets too close, it collapses and creates a black hole.
Yeah, we do. This
Okay.
was Roger Penrose won the Nobel Prize in 2020. I think
Did
it's
Siren
2020
do
for
this?
this.
I mean, like, well, did we actually observe this, or is this just mathematical?
Roger Penrose won the Nobel Prize in 2020 for this fact.
Okay,
Oof.
did we observe it, or is it mathematical?
Have we observed black holes forming? Yeah, sure. We observe it all the
No,
time.
have we
In fact, we observe
observed-
hundreds a night.
Have we observed what you
Not hundreds of
described
people.
happening, where matter got too close?
Gravitational
and ended up
collapse.
collapsing?
Yeah,
Gravitational
Yeah.
flux?
gravitational collapse.
Collapse.
Yeah.
The collapse of gravity. Is that
No,
the thing?
it's the collapse of matter due to gravity. This is how you form a black hole.
Okay. All right. And in a black hole, I'm assuming with these miniature black holes, they have a singularity.
What
Or is
miniature
that for
black
the
holes?
bigger ones? I mean, I have no idea about these like quantum black holes you're talking about.
We're
Do
not
they
talking
form
about
a-
quantum black holes or anything like that. We're
Well, I
talking
mean,
about
you're
real black
saying
holes in
like you're
space.
saying in terms of atomically, right?
No, I'm not talking about atomic anything.
So you're talking like we actually made like a major black hole. We made like a black hole. the
No, we
size
didn't
of a
make it.
baseball
We
or
observe
something?
it.
Okay. So we observed matter crushing into itself. Literally.
Yeah, this
and
is what
creating
happens
black
during a
hole.
supernova.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Certain kinds of supernovas, anyway. Not all of them lead to a black hole, but certain kinds do.
Okay. All right. So I'm talking about on Earth. Okay. So have we ever observed that on Earth? Okay.
No, but we also have never observed, like, I don't know, We've never observed Mars on Earth, so like I guess Mars isn't real now.
No.
Why the fuck do we need to
literally,
observe
the
a black
way you
hole on
measure-
Earth
the
to
way
know
you
that they
gotta
exist?
measure that is
What a goon.
purely, like, there's only so many factors we can observe from like light years away. We can literally observe
Yeah,
like
we're really, really good at figuring out that black holes exist. In fact, not only have we measured gravitational waves coming from black holes, we've also just directly imaged them as of 2019. This is a huge deal. I don't know how you missed it. This is like all over the
where
news.
like overlap the sun or something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. I think I've seen it, but I mean, yeah, I was talking about Earth. Okay. So what happens if matter gets too close on Earth? Does it create a black hole? Like if
It depends on how close it gets.
if two atoms got right next to each other, okay, to the point where they're actually touching, okay, and they are both positively charged, what will happen?
It depends on how close they get. If they're like overlapping, then
I'm
they
telling
will
you,
form a black hole
right next to
inevitably.
each other. Like right next to each other to the point where they're touching.
Atoms are not tiny little spheres. Atoms are more like clouds of probability.
Yes,
so like
yes,
there's not
yes,
really like a
yes, the
right next
cloud
to
of
each other that's well
possibility,
defined.
the cloud of possibility has
Probability.
a set limit. Okay, so
No, it
just
doesn't.
okay. So you're saying the cloud of possibility for
It extends
an atom
infinitely in all
can have
directions, yeah.
the width of the entire universe. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the wave function dies off exponentially, and exponentials famously never reach zero.
Okay, so an atom can have a width the size of the universe.
No, that's not how we define what an atom is. We can talk about the size of an atom as something like, the region of space that has a 99.9% chance of encapsulating it, or something like that.
Okay, but still that
Yeah.
probability has a set limit. So I'm going.
No, it doesn't. The
Okay.
wave functions literally diverge. They literally go up to infinity.
Okay, so an atom can't have the width of a universe.
Yeah, the probability of
Okay.
finding an electron from a single atom on Earth in Andromeda is small but non-zero.
Okay, like an atom that's intact, not like an electron that escapes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, an
So-
atom that's intact.
so an intact atom can have a width the entire span of the universe.
The width of it, the width of an atom is not well defined. That's what I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to get
Okay,
to.
radius.
Right? Like it's
Is
not a well
radius
defined
better
thing.
word? Is radius
Not
a better
also
word?
not well defined.
Okay. So not it's not well defined. Is that your
The
final
world is
conclusion?
far stranger than you think it is.
I do believe that, but I do also believe we have a set principle of assumptions, and that not all of this is extremely vague. And that I do believe that because you're a physicist, you should have like you should have a good idea of how big an atom, assumingly, is. Okay, let's take it to like the 10 to the power of like 10 assumptions.
Do you understand
okay?
that? Do you understand that like two atoms can be in the exact same place?
Yes.
Like they can
yes, I do.
overlap.
Yes,
Okay.
that's why I said
So then, what does it mean for
positively
them to touch? What does it mean for them to touch?
charged. I'm trying to ask you that question.
The point is it doesn't really mean anything for two atoms to touch. There's not really a well-defined
Okay,
notion of
if you get two atoms, okay, all right, two positively charged atoms. Let's just say hydrogen, okay, and you put them
Mhm.
right next to each other.
Wait,
They're
hydrogen atoms are
sharing
not
any
positively
electrons.
charged. They're neutral.
No, I'm saying positively. You can positively charge any atom. Okay. You're
Are you talking about a
physicist.
proton?
I think you mean, yeah, proton.
I do not mean
Because
proton.
neutron's negatively charged.
No, neutrons are neutral, Justin.
I'm
Go with
sorry,
the program.
electrons.
So if
I was
you
talking
take
about
a
neutrons
hydrogen
earlier.
atom, if you take a hydrogen atom and you remove its electron so that it's positively charged, then all you're left with is a proton.
Okay. If you put, I don't know what's the.
You mean if you
complex one?
reconfigure the number of electrons and protons, you can change the charge? Is that what you're trying to say?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so you're saying like if it has more protons than electrons, it has a charge. Is that that's what you're saying?
I mean, I don't really know what you're talking about.
You said atoms can take a positive charge, and I'm trying to make
atoms
sure.
can. You can ionize
positively
atoms.
charged,
Yeah, I'm
atoms
trying
can
to
be
make sure that
negatively charged.
we're agreeing on what that means.
We would usually call those ions, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm more focused on atoms and not really focused on like, the nucleus plus the electrons and stuff.
That's
Okay,
what
I'm
an
not
atom
talking-
is.
Yes, exactly. I'm not talking about just the proton, just the neutron, just the fucking
Right,
whatever.
a hydrogen ion is
I'm
just a
talking
proton.
an atom. Okay, so if we put two atoms right next to each other, okay,
Uh-huh.
and they're not sharing any electrons, okay,
Uh-huh.
what happens? And they don't want to share electrons.
It depends
either.
on it depends on how they're configured, right? Like if you put two hydrogen atoms right next to each other, close enough, they will fuse. It's called nuclear fusion.
Yeah, they would have to be what was it in like a set state.
Really
They'd
close
have
to each other.
meet a certain set of requirements in order for that to happen. No.
Yeah, they have to. The requirement is that they're really close to each other.
Yeah, they would. Okay, I'm talking right next to each other. Okay, like right next to each other.
So if they're kind of far away, but not so far away.
Yes, they're
They're
touching.
kind of far away.
No, they're. I don't know. I think.
Look, okay, so I'll give you the rundown as the scales here. So if you take two deuterium atoms, for example, if you put them extraordinarily close to each other, they fuse into a helium atom. If you put them slightly farther away from that, they will repel. If you put them even more slightly farther away from that, they will attract.
Yeah.
So like there's it's not just like the closer they get, the stronger they repel.
Yeah, I know. Strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. Like, I mean, this is kind of simple stuff, right? I mean, I'm
Okay.
trying to ask you.
You hear that,
If they are
Quantonaut?
touching-
Strong nuclear force, simple stuff. Go ahead.
Well, it's relatively simple. I mean, I learned this all in high school. I'm not like a physicist like you. But I mean, if they are touching, okay, just touching, all right. Imagine like you're putting your
We've
hands
been over
together for a
this.
handshake.
There's no
type
good
of
notion of touching.
There's no good notion of touching.
Not at the atomic level.
What am I like, unless the nucleus is fused together, they wouldn't really be touching, right?
Do you believe in the graviton, Dr. Blitz?
Oh boy.
I think it's probably a good low energy effective theory.
Do you believe that its size is like extremely small?
Fundamental particles don't have sizes.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. Do you believe its area of probability is extremely small?
There's no well-defined area. There's no
Okay,
well-defined volume
there's no
for a given.
well-defined-
for a
I don't know
given-
what touching is.
No.
What the fuck is going on?
Your
Okay.
questions are ill-posed. That's
Yep.
the problem. It's not my lack of knowledge. It's that you're asking questions, assuming things
So-
that are false.
So, in a normal conversation, you do not say something with the assumption that you could be 0.0, like 10 to the power of 10, 1% chance wrong. Okay? Like, you do not make those assumptions. That's something extremely unlikely, more unlikely than almost anything that we've ever observed will happen. Okay? You do not make those assumptions in a normal, everyday
We're
conversation.
not making those assumptions. I'm telling
Yes,
you that
are
the
making those
implicit
you are making
I'm
those
not.
assumptions.
The implicit ideas in the questions that you're asking are assuming that there are well-defined answers to the questions when there aren't.
You don't think there's a well-defined answer for, let me guess, the rate of attraction for like certain distances between atoms and the rate of repulsion?
You can absolutely compute those. Yeah, those are well-defined. You specify two atomic wave functions, and then you can compute the relevant forces between them. You can compute the relevant, or like the net forces between them, for example, if you have all the relevant data. But that's fine.
All right, so
There's no issue with that.
If two atoms are touching, okay, so if we understand these things, if two atoms are touching, what happens to those atoms? If they don't want to share any electrons, what happens?
Okay, again, you keep saying the word. What do you mean by touching? Do you mean like their nuclei are, the wave functions of their nuclei are like the regions of 99% Oh, he left.
Oh. Fuck. I guess his atoms
Well-
touched, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if any atoms would want to touch his atoms.
Well, that was fun. Thank you so much, Dr. Blitz. That was fucking
That's a word that
fantastic.
you can use. Yeah, I'll be down in the comments. I have some physics to do
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
later.
Let's get a million W's for Dr. Blitz in here. Fantastic. He was definitely a man of much science. Was it good science? The jury might still be out. it appears that the answer to that question is mostly no. So, what are you going to do? Friends, let me grab a couple of super chats. We'll get our next guest in here. It looks like we've got 3 guests waiting, one with no name, one with the name Steele, and one with the name Bang. The one with no name was the one that was in here first, so we'll grab them first, as per usual. Cal, thank you for the super chat. For instance, do you have a source for going over basic Hebrew Jewish history that covers what you were just talking about concerning El and Yahweh? Sure, yeah. I would, there's 2 volumes that would be really helpful. Actually, there's a lot. I'll give you the shortest one first. The shortest one first is probably by Mark S. Smith, Yahweh and the Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Canaan. You can, was that Mark Smith or John Day now? Hold on. Yahweh, Gods and I think that's John Day. Yeah, John Day did Yahweh and the Gods and Goddesses of Canaan. I think you'll like it. It's really small, not a very large volume. When you're ready for the big stuff, I might want to talk about Ted Lewis's book on God, the origin and character of God. And then there's another one called The Religions of Ancient Israel by Zioni Zevit. Those 2 books are massive. They're like hold your coffee table down in a windstorm, like a hurricane massive. But it's worth it, worth every penny. The Very Hungry Sing, thank you for the super chat, says, my PFP is suddenly relevant. Fucking A, look at this. Yeah, who would have thought that your PFP would come into play during this debate? And Miko, thank you so much, my friend, for sending out 5 DZ debate gifted memberships. Huge W. And Basis Share, great to see you. Username learned physics from a Marvel movie. True, that's true. It's weird how many people pretend to know science when they haven't had real education in science. That's why I don't pretend to do it. That's why everything I say is like, well, it seems to be this. I think the evidence leads to this. You know, you want to be afraid of doing definitive statements in the field you don't know. Kirby, hey, thank you for the super chat. Books will arrive tomorrow in your P.O. box. Fuck, thank you, Fred. You have helped me overcome the fears religion created in my life. Learn more from you than at Bible college. Well, fuck, Kirby. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. I don't know what you sent, but I super appreciate it. And I appreciate you letting me know that what we're doing here helped you. And Game Guy says, I wish I had the balls to Christ-splain physics to a physicist. Isn't that crazy? That you like literally like they have the gumption to talk to a guy with a PhD in the field when they have no education in it and argue with them. It's wild. A-list. Hey, thank you for the super chat, friend. Says, imagine having a high school level education in physics and being annoyed by a person with a PhD explain how dumb you are. I know. What are you gonna do? He just didn't have any tools in his tool belt, right? And last one from Flux Chandler. Remember, folks, it's not gay unless atoms touch. So get to work. Hey, you heard it here. You heard it here. Fantastic. All right, we'll get the nameless guest in here. I guess we'll call him Star for now. Maybe. I'm seeing some loading dots of doom. They might not be connecting. I don't think they're going to connect. Okay. Well, in that case, looks like we'll move on to the next guest. Come on back, nameless guest. If you get a better connection, let's grab Steele. All right. Welcome in, Steele. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right. Let me move your screen a little bit. Actually, I'm going to move another screen that's kind of in the way. Still, are you at least 18?
Yes, I am.
Cool. And do you believe in God?
Yes.
Awesome. Which one?
The Christian one.
Gotcha. So you're a Christian. What do you think is like the most convincing evidence or argument for the Christian God?
You want the scientific or biblical?
I mean, that's up to you. Whatever you think is most convincing. I mean,
Well,
I like both fields, but you know, I'm not trained in the sciences.
Okay. I'll probably do the scientific. I'm a little better at that, but
Sure. What you got?
I could. Let's just do the Kalam basically.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, you want to run it?
Sure.
All right.
Everything
Go
that
for it.
begins to exist has a cause.
Yep.
The
The universe
universe
began
began
to
to
exist.
exist.
Yep. Universe has
Therefore,
a
the
cause.
universe has a cause.
Cool. I disagree with premise two.
Okay. Well, the Borg-Guth-Lincoln theorem posits that the universe inflation had an ultimate beginning, and you can't observe anything
It
before
actually didn't.
inflation.
It did not.
It absolutely did.
So it did not. So the
Sure did.
BBG posits that there are a couple things that could be true if their conclusion is held. And the problem that you're going to have is in order to use it in your argument, you're just begging the question, right? Because the first premise of the way your argument is structured is if the universe has a finite past, or let's say if the universe has been expanding on average for all of, we'll call it history, then it means it has a finite past. But that's circular because the only way it could be always expanding on average over history is if it had a finite past. So you're assuming the conclusion in your first premise, which makes it an invalid argument right out of the gate.
No, I mean the universe could have been contracting before it was expanding. Like you believe in a cyclical universe,
but then it wouldn't be expanding on average.
Right? But you have to have the evidence to support your cyclical universe, which
Well,
the
we do
BGV
have
would.
some data points for that. The BGV is not an evidence. The BGV did not
Okay.
demonstrate that the universe has been expanding on average for all of history.
Okay. Well, what about the law of thermodynamics then? Second law.
What about it?
Well, you can't. The entropy of the universe is increasing, and
Do you think it's going to increase forever?
no, probably not. But it's increasing currently, and you had a low initial entropy. So as the universe gets more disordered, I mean, you couldn't have atoms wouldn't even exist right now if the entropy was too high. They would just dissipate.
Yeah, because it'd be too hot. I agree. Unless they were spread out.
So
If everything in the
universe has
universe
been
was
going on
super spread
forever.
out, then it would, it'd be a different story.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that if the universe was going on forever, the entropy would be so high you couldn't even have atoms that are held
Why?
together. Because
So the
if
second law of entropy, or second law of thermodynamics, doesn't say that entropy is always going to increase. It says in an isolated system, it's never going to decrease. Once it reaches equilibrium, then it's just going to be static.
Okay.
There's no increase. It doesn't increase forever.
All right.
So
all right,
I don't know. I don't know
try
who
it.
told you that it increases forever, but it doesn't. Now it could, to be fair. Like there's an argument
Okay.
for it increasing forever, and that's because gravity exists. So if gravity causes objects to move, which seems to be the case, and gravity is a fundamental, I'll call it a force for now, a fundamental field at least. Well, what that means is that there's never going to be any bodies in space that lack motion, and motion causes entropy. So it seems to me that our endless source of entropy could be gravity if you wanted to argue that.
Okay. Why don't we try the biblical then?
Sure.
I see what you're saying about the scientific stuff. I could take that or leave it to some extent. I don't think I'm off base, but how about one biblical argument?
Yeah, let's have it. What you got?
I know you like to say that Jesus didn't fulfill any prophecies, right?
I mean, I think he fulfilled Deuteronomy 13, but that's it.
That's a good one. Okay. What about Isaiah 53? I haven't heard you. I don't know if you talk on that enough, or
I
I
talk
don't
about
really
it
know if I've
every
heard.
single time I'm live. It's one of the
Oh,
only
okay.
prophecies that Christians know.
Well, there's Psalm 110 too. I mean, but
Well,
I've
Psalm
heard you
110
talk
is
on
clearly
that
not
one.
even a prophecy. It's to King David about himself.
Well,
I mean,
I disagree with that. I mean,
well, it's literally addressed to him as a prophecy to him. It just says it in the heading. So
it says a Psalm of David.
no, Le David Mizmor is different than Mizmor Le David in Hebrew.
Okay, I don't know Hebrew, so.
I know.
But
it's okay. And it's, if you look at the stuff that's in Psalm 110, it's clearly all stuff about King David. In fact, some of it comes true when it says, until I make your enemies your footstool. That was promised to King David. It's reiterated in 1 Kings chapter 5 that it actually came true. Solomon says so. That God put all of David's enemies beneath his feet.
But he wasn't a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Yeah, he was.
Um,
He gave
Okay, how about
sacrifices and
this?
offerings with the Levites as he was marching the ark into town. In Levitical attire.
Okay. Well, there's this article where this guy is saying the traditional view of Lane marking authorship, the particle, I don't know this Hebrew thing, but then he goes into saying that in 2 Samuel 23:1, the last words of David uses the same particle.
So what?
2 Samuel 23:1,
Yeah, what about it?
which is the last words of David.
Okay, so says these are the last words of David, the oracle of David, son of Jesse, the oracle of the man whom God exalted, the anointed one of God of Jacob, the favorite of strong one, or of the strong one of Israel. What's your point?
My point is that if they were the last words of David, and then they're using that same particle in Psalm 110,
I'm failing to see what you mean by last words. What does David's last words have to do with the text?
okay, it says the occurrence of a prophetic particle in that context supports the possibility that it was indeed David who wrote the psalm and did
prophetic
so
particle?
anticipating a future ideal king in his line.
What do you mean by prophetic particle?
I don't know what this Hebrew word is. It's the same particle that is used he says, however, the particle something occurs in this heading. I follow the traditional view of the lamed as marking authorship.
I have no idea what this has to do with the argument at hand. What do you think the particle or his last words have to do with Psalm 110?
Well, if I think what he's trying to say is that if David said these words, then it apply that he actually wrote Psalm 110 too.
Why?
Well, I think it's saying that this particle is the same in both Psalm 110 and 2 Samuel 23:1.
So what?
And if
Hebrew has standard particles. It's going to be the same no matter who's writing. They have grammar. They're not just inventing grammar on the spot.
I think Isaiah 53 is a little easier then.
Sure. All right. You want me to run it or you to run it?
Well,
I mean, I'm more than happy to tell you why it's not about Jesus, but I assume you want to tell me and my audience why it has to be about Jesus, which is usually what.
Well, no, why don't you tell me why it's not about him first?
Oh, because the author tells you it's not.
He does? Okay, where?
Yeah. 41, 8 through 9. He's going to do it again in 43. In fact, I'll pull the verses up. Don't worry. I got you. Hold on. All right. Boom. Oh, browser a little extra big. Give me 1 second. Size this down just a pinch. There we go. And there we go. And this guy, I need to change the resolution. Give me 1 second. There we go. It should be pretty good. Okay, so in 41, 8 through 9, it says, "But you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I've chosen, the offspring of Abraham, my friend, you who I took from the furthest ends of the earth and called you from its furthest corners, saying to you, you are my servant, I have chosen you and not cast you off." Okay, so right away, it seems pretty obvious that there's not a problem identifying Israel as a singular servant, correct?
I agree.
Okay, so this is not an issue of grammar. The fact that servant is in the singular is meaningless, right?
Correct.
Okay. If you go on to 43:10, it says, "You are my witnesses, says the Lord, and my servant whom I've chosen, so that you may know and believe and understand that I am he." Cool. 43, Israel still the servant. 44, it says, "Hear now, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel whom I've chosen, says the Lord, who made you, who formed you in the womb, and will help you. Do not fear, O Jacob, my servant, Jeshurun, who I've chosen." Cool. He's still a servant in 44 too. Remember these things, O Jacob and Israel, you are my servant. 45, still the servant. For the sake of my servant Jacob and Israel my chosen, I call you by your name. 48:20, still the servant. Says, go out from Babylon, flee from Chaldea, declare this with a shout of joy and proclaim it, send it forth to the ends of the earth and say that the Lord has redeemed his servant Jacob. Now, if you've read the context of Isaiah, you know that the whole section of Deutero-Isaiah is about the freedom of Israel from Babylonian captivity. That's the whole thing, which is why you get to the crescendo right around chapter 53 as they're leaving. Chapter 53 is basically recounting God delivering them. This is what it's about. God's servant being delivered from captivity and being exalted, and then the voice of the nations declaring what they've just witnessed, something that is unbelievable.
Okay. But where does it talk about the servant in Isaiah 53?
Like in 52 it starts.
But you're okay, but we're in 50. So you're saying you have to go to 52 then?
Well, it starts in 52, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you can.
But who do you think? I mean, so 53:1. Who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? What does that mean?
I'll explain it to you. You can go back to 52:10 if you want to know. It says the Lord has bared his holy arm before the eyes of all the nations. Oh, okay. So who saw God's arm?
Israel.
The nations. Try it again. The Lord has bared his. Well, I mean, obviously Israel's going to witness it, but who is God bearing his arm to?
Then okay. Well, let me look at 52 just so I can't see your screen. Sorry.
Oh shit! I forgot to share it with. Or no, I didn't forget to share it with you. You can't see it.
That's okay. I can look here.
Oh, let me resend it. Can you see it now?
No, it's all right. 52:10 though.
52:10.
Okay. Yep. The Lord will bear his holy arm in the sight of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth will see the salvation of our God. Okay.
Yeah. And in the same section, what does God say is the arm? What's the arm represent?
In what section?
In Deutero-Isaiah, chapter, typically it's going to be chapter 40 all the way to 55.
Well, the arm of the Lord is not the same thing. Are you trying to say the arm is the servant?
No. I'm saying the phrase arm of the Lord is repeated often in 2nd Isaiah. It has a repetitious meaning. Typically it's referring to the deliverance of the Israelites. The same way when he delivered them from Egypt, he said he did so with an outstretched arm.
Right. I agree with you.
Okay, cool.
I agree with you completely. But the arm of the Lord is talking about God, not Israel.
I'm aware, yeah. God delivering Israel. Okay. Is this in past tense or future tense?
Well, before we jump to that, so we agree that the arm of the Lord is not talking about Israel, right?
I never said it was.
Okay. Then in Isaiah 53:1, where it says, to who has the arm of the Lord been revealed?
To the nations.
And then it goes on to describe the arm of the Lord. It leads into
what the arm of the
Lord is.
No, what the arm of the Lord did. The arm of the Lord is not an identification. Wait, do you think the arm of the Lord is an identification? It's not.
Absolutely. It's absolutely identification of
It is certainly
God.
not. It's an idiom for strength. It shows up like 100 times in the Bible.
I understand. And every time it's referencing Jesus.
It certainly is not.
The arm of the Lord, to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? And then it goes on to describe who the arm of the Lord is.
It does not.
Before him, like a tender shoot, and like
that is the wildest cope I've ever heard in my life. This is the saddest one I've ever heard.
Nope, Isaiah 53 is complete, and it's referenced in the New Testament.
I don't really care if it's referenced in the New Testament. The New Testament's a lie. So the fact of the matter is, it tells you what the arm is. See, the Lord God comes with might and rules, and his arm rules for him. That's his might. His arm is his might. That's his tool of deliverance, his strength. I am the Lord. There is no other. Besides me, there is no God. I arm you, though you do not know me. Does he say that there's another God who's my arm, or does he say there is no other God beside me?
There, where are you referencing this?
Isaiah 45:5.
Well, I'm okay. Sorry, I can't jump quite as fast.
Sorry.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that we're not talking about the servant in 53. We're talking about the arm of the Lord,
No.
which is and when you read who the arm of the Lord is, it's a divine.
You
it's
haven't
a
read this, have
human.
you?
I've read the whole thing.
You certainly haven't, because you would know that the arm has nothing to do with this other than the deliverance. All right, the problem is you haven't read 52 yet. Do you want me to just do it right for you?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, you can't start at verse 1 of 53. It doesn't start
Okay.
there. All right, so we'll
right,
we'll
you wanna
start
go to
here,
52.
which is what you need to know. Here's the context. The Lord has
Okay.
bared his holy arm before the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God. First point, it's in the past tense, meaning God has already done the thing. He's already bared his arm, but there's more work left to do because he gives them a command now. Depart, depart, go out from there, touch no unclean thing. Go out from the midst of it and purify yourselves, you who carry the vessels of the Lord. For you shall not go out in haste, and you shall not go out in flight, for the Lord will go before you, and the God of Israel will be your rear guard. This is echoing the Exodus, where they had to go out in haste. Here he's saying, hey, you've been delivered, but you can casually go out. I'm guarding you. It's okay. Verse 13, see, my servant shall prosper. He shall be exalted and lifted up and shall be very high. Is there any reason right now, when I see my servant shall prosper, he shall be exalted and lifted up and be very high, why I would put Jesus in there rather than Israel?
No, I can understand your point there.
Okay. Next verse, just as there were many who were astonished at him, so marred was his appearance beyond human semblance, and his form beyond that of mortals, so he shall startle many nations. Okay, there's two things in here, just like the last paragraph. Some of it's past tense and some of it's future tense, isn't it?
Yeah.
What part was in the past tense?
I don't just go and tell me because I'm not quite tracking there.
Yeah, it says there were many who were astonished at him because his semblance was beyond that of a human. And then it says he will startle many nations. And in 13 it says, my servant shall prosper. So what we find here is the grammar in the passage is saying the servant has been abused, but will in the future be exalted, which means the speaker is speaking before the exaltation, but after the initial part of the deliverance. It's pretty easy, which is why it says in verse 15, kings shall shut their mouths because of him, for that which had not been told to them they shall see, and that which they had not heard they shall contemplate. So that's why the verse splits at 15. Now, I realize that this is one unit because, chapter 52:13 is the start of the suffering servant psalm, but they broke it at 15 because the very next verse changes scene. Now you get the voice of the nations doing what verse 15 said they would do. It says that they shall contemplate the thing that they didn't know about. Because it happened to them. It says, who has believed what we have heard? Or yours probably says report. Most translations say, who has believed our report? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? Oh, well, this is the nations talking about how God revealed his arm by freeing the people that they were holding captive. Is there a compelling reason why I would put Jesus in here so far?
I think like the I don't. No, maybe not right there. I mean, I'm not trying to insert Jesus unnecessary. I understand what you're getting at, but okay, I'll just say no, just for sake of argument.
I mean, there's really no reason to insert Jesus here yet, right? Is there a reason why this wouldn't be about Israel, given the actual context of Isaiah?
Okay, I'm
You understand?
thinking about what you're saying.
Sure. So 53 in verse 2 says, he grew up before him like a young plant, like a root out of dry ground. You do understand that Israel, 3 different times in Isaiah, is mentioned as the shoot that Yahweh planted, right?
Sure.
So again, sounds like Israel. Then it says, he had no form or majesty that we should look at him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. Again, That's true of Israel. God says on many occasions that it wasn't because of your excellence. It wasn't because of anything you did that I chose you. And then, in fact, he goes on to exalt them. In Jeremiah, he goes through great lengths to describe the Israelites as basically being a harlot in the ditch when he found them. So I'm reading this and say, yeah, it sounds exactly what Yahweh has already said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I think you're following. So, anyways, we'll keep moving in, and I'll show you what I'm meaning here. He was despised and rejected by others, a man of suffering and acquainted with infirmity, as was one whom others hide their faces. He was despised, and we held of no account. Again, it just sounds like what the nations did to Israel, correct?
I'm not quite in agreement with that, but I understand why you're saying that.
Well, why? Did they not suffer?
I think. I'm sorry. I think that this is too. It's too describing like a person. It doesn't sound like
Why?
it's describing like a nation.
Why would we think it's about a person?
Just the type of language that
Like what?
he.
Well, we already covered this. That's why I read for you chapter 43, where it says, "You are my witnesses in the plural and my servant, and I made you articulate from your own mouth that the singular grammar has nothing to do with who the servant is." You already agreed on that. Now you're back doing like a backtrack.
Can you repeat that? I'm backtracking. How?
Yeah, I already had you agree that the singular grammar has nothing to do with who the servant is, because if the nation of people is being called a servant in the singular, when you reference the servant, you're going to use singular pronouns.
I understand what you're trying. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I do agree with you. I don't agree that it applies here, but
Why?
I understand what you're saying.
It applies everywhere but here?
I would. I definitely don't think it applies here.
But why does it apply everywhere else?
Well, I don't know that it applies everywhere else to start. I mean, I'd have to go point by point, but I definitely don't think it applies here.
But why? Just because you don't want it to?
No,
Like,
I think
what's the compelling reason?
because it doesn't sound like you're talking about a nation just because the previous instances were singular describing a nation. I mean, I understand how that works, but this is yeah. I don't see that it applies here, but I understand your point.
Well, it's a clear point. The referencing of the nation of Israel as a singular entity happens all the time, especially in regard to being a servant.
Yeah. Yes, I understand.
Okay.
All right.
So just to be clear,
I mean,
there's no grammatical reason why this has to be about a singular person. And obviously you would understand that if obviously this is a metaphor about a nation being a singular servant, you would have to use the correct pronouns for the metaphor to work, right?
Yep, I would agree with that. I would
agree
with basically what you're saying. Yes.
And Israel is not a human being. Israel is a collection of people. So we understand that this is a real metaphor, not like what Christians think is a metaphor just because they don't like what it says.
All right.
Okay, fair enough. So when we go to verse 4, says, "Surely he has borne our infirmities and carried our diseases, yet we accounted him stricken, struck down by God, and afflicted." Is there a compelling reason why this wouldn't be about Israel?
Compelling reason? Well, again, I think that we're not talking about Israel here, is what I'm getting at. I don't think, because we're talking about the arm
my
of the
question
Lord.
was, is there a compelling reason why this wouldn't be about Israel, given what we've read so far?
Because we're not, because we're talking about the arm of the Lord.
I agree. The arm of the Lord was revealed as the deliverance of Israel.
I think the New Testament clearly references Isaiah 53 multiple times.
So what? Why do I care what the New Testament says?
Well, because it all comes from the same source. So, if you're
No,
trying to,
That's what you have to prove. You don't get to assume that.
Well, I'm not. If you're trying to do a internal critique, it's you have to
I'm not
look
doing
at
an
the
internal
whole, not
critique.
so what is this? Just a grammar critique?
No, this is just a Bible lesson on how to read the book properly in context.
I understand that, and I am reading in context with that we aren't talking about Israel here because we're talking about they switched to well, all right. I get your point. I don't know if you're seeing mine, but maybe I'm not making it well enough. But
I know what you're
don't
saying. It
think
just doesn't make any sense, and it's not even something that the majority of Christians would agree with.
Oh, they
The
probably
majority of
would. I
Christians
mean,
know that this is not about the arm of the Lord, because if you read Isaiah, and I'm not trying to offend you. It's clear that you actually haven't read Isaiah, because you would know that the arm of the Lord is not referring to Jesus or any individual. The arm of the Lord is obviously referring to the strength of Yahweh, because it shows up a dozen times in that identical context. Why in the
right, and
world would I just go
it's
around
in
inserting
Exodus.
Jesus into that?
I understand it's not a common interpretation. I get that, but
Well,
it's
why would anyone take it?
because it fits the context
What
of
context?
that the arm of the Lord is it's going on to describe a human person, and that is
What's the
basically
what's the arm of the Lord doing? In second Isaiah, what is the function? What is the arm of the Lord actually doing?
in second Isaiah.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to go back to 52 now?
Well, I'm just asking you, in this section of the book, what's the arm of the Lord supposed to be doing?
Well, you said back in Isaiah 52:10, the Lord has bared his holy arm before the eyes of all the nation, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God.
Right. But what I'm asking you is within the section of Deutero Isaiah, chapter 40 to 55, what is the function of the arm of the Lord when it keeps getting called up?
I guess you're gonna have to clear that up for me, what you're referencing then.
Yeah, it's to deliver Israel. It's specifically the strength of Yahweh. That's
Yes,
what
I
it
agree with you.
means.
Just like in
doesn't say
Exodus when
doesn't say anything
he-
about Jesus, and it doesn't say that it is a person.
Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Well,
So
I
in
think
Mhm.
I think it is a person. I think
Why?
that
Because you want it to be?
because of no, because to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? So then it
The
goes on to
nations.
describe who the arm of the Lord is.
No, it doesn't.
It,
It goes on to depict the nations talking about what happened in the past tense. You do know that past tense has meaning, right? He grew up
sure,
before him like a young plant. Is that past tense or future tense?
it's prophetic perfect.
No, there's no such thing. That's invented by
Yes,
Christians who don't know grammar.
no, that's exactly well. The Jewish people then don't know grammar because they believe
No,
in it too.
no, they don't. Most of them do not. This is something that Rashi posited, not even in seriousness. This is not something that is taken seriously within the academic community of Hebrew. I've checked the commentaries on it. This is not a real thing. In fact, you will not be able to show me a
You should
prophetic
watch
perfect.
Tovia
And you
Singer. I think
also,
you'll
I
disagree with
know
me.
Tovia Singer personally.
Oh,
So
good. Then
again,
you should ask
there is
him
no such
if he
thing
believes in
as a
prophetic perfect.
prophetic perfect. The only way you can get to a prophetic perfect is if you have a verse doing exactly what I'm telling you it's doing, which is it's talking about events that happened in the past, right? So in Isaiah 14, it says, take up this lament when the king of Babylon falls. Okay, so he's saying, do this in the future, right? And then he reads the lament. Well, the lament is in the past tense. That's the only way you can get to a prophetic perfect, but it's not a real piece of grammar. It's something that was invented to explain how you can be talking about the future or talking about something happening in the future, but the event being talked about was actually in the past. It's not a real piece of grammar. You don't just get to say, oh, prophetic perfect every time the grammar trips you up. It has a clear like architecture around it. You know when you're inside of it. And again, it's not called a prophetic perfect. And what you have in Isaiah is a prediction for the future about what happened in the past. It says that which had not been told to them, they shall contemplate. Yes, they will contemplate it. The very next verse is them in the future contemplating what they just did in the past, what just happened to them in the past.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that Israel's deliverance or whoever this person is going to be happening hundreds of years from now. This is the nations speaking. And those nations got wiped out way before Jesus.
Where's I guess the only part where is the nation speaking?
I just told you. It says they're going to. That which had not been told to them, they shall see, and that which they had not heard, they shall contemplate. And then now we have the nations contemplating. Who has believed what we have heard, or who have believed our report? To whom has our Lord been revealed? It's obvious that it's a contemplation of the nations.
Okay. All right. Well.
See,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Every part of my interpretation is agreed upon by actual scholars, and it fits the context of the Old Testament prophets and the context of Isaiah. To put Jesus in here, you have to take the context of Isaiah, throw it all in the fucking trash. Say every prophecy in Deutero-Isaiah is about the nation of Israel coming out of Babylon, except for this one passage. This one passage is about a magic man 700 years from now, actually about 600 years from now, 600 years from now, who's going to come and die for your sins, which isn't prophesied anywhere in the Bible. That's a crazy interpretation.
Well, apparently the New Testament authors didn't think it was so crazy. I mean, did they just come up? I mean, where do you think they came up with it from?
Well, they certainly didn't come up with it on their own. The New Testament authors were part of what we would consider a cult, and they had all kinds of crazy interpretations. They weren't the only ones. In fact, if you read the Dead Sea Scrolls, that's probably Qumran is where some of them probably came from. They thought that the teacher of righteousness, there was actually two of them inside the community at one point. They thought that they were suffering servants. But in literally the same time period, you got texts talking about the nation of Israel being the servant. So there's a broad range of interpretations, but what they thought, what people in Jesus' time period thought about Isaiah 53 means nothing to me.
Why is that?
Why would I care?
Because you only care about what the Old Testament says about it?
Because I care what it meant to the original audience, not to people hundreds of years later that were coping because the prophecies didn't come true.
Okay. Right.
That's why they have to reinvent these prophetic meanings. That's why they have to invent interpretations, because the prophecies clearly just failed. Ezekiel 12 literally says that all the prophecies in Ezekiel are going to happen within the lifetime of his generation. He literally says that all of them are coming true in your time period, in your generation, O wicked house of Israel, and that these are not for many days in the future, but what I say will be fulfilled and not delayed. Okay, well, you wouldn't think that Ezekiel came true, chapter 40 to the end of the book. You think it's eschatological end times. That's fucking crazy.
No, I think that Ezekiel 37 is a if then statement.
I didn't say 37. I said 40.
I know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Oh, I did say 37, but I know what you're talking about with 40. But there's a passage before it. I'm trying to find it because I've heard you make this argument before. There's a if then statement that this if you follow this, basically, if you follow my law, and the Israelites never did that.
That's what you would say when the prophecies failed, obviously.
No, hold on. I'm not trying. This is not a. I understand. I just wanted to find this. Because he was basically saying, if then that I will build my temple. If you guys do, or if you have I forget the exact phrasing of it. I'm sorry. Tell me if I. But the temple was only going to be built if Israel showed their dedication to God, and they never did that. So the whole 40 through 48 is not going to happen.
Where's the passage?
Okay, hang on a second here. I'm trying to find it. I thought
Hi, guys.
What's up, Venus?
Oh my God, it's 7:30 a.m.
I'm sorry.
But I love
I
you guys so much. I'm willing to sacrifice my sleep.
hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. All right. I can't find that one. I know what you're talking about, but I think it was an if then statement. If you follow me, basically, then this temple will get built. But they never followed him because they couldn't stick to anything.
But I would need the verse.
I know. I'm sorry, Justin. I'm trying to find it. I'm not trying to pull it out of my ass here. I thought it was 37. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
Okay.
Justin, do you reckon this verse exists?
There's a similar one in Jeremiah. In fact, it's talked about pretty frequently. And in Ezekiel, there should be one non-corporate verse that talks about the wicked that don't turn to Yahweh, but it doesn't say anything about the temple not being built. Not that I recall.
Yeah, hang on. It's the. Sorry, let me Google this. I'm losing track of the.
It's
I know.
GPT
I
it
know.
made.
All right, we can do that too.
Don't act like it's my idea. That's exactly what you were gonna do. GPT the
Well, I'm going to
verse.
Google it. I mean, no, I was just going to try to find the verse. I'm not trying to chat GPT the conversation.
To be fair, I just did an if search in the entire book of Ezekiel, and I didn't find the statement you're looking for.
I understand. Hold on.
Venus, good to see you. So we got Venus here now. Let me get Venus on the YouTube screen before I forget.
Okay, I think it says it's Ezekiel 43, 10 through 11.
43.
If they are
All right.
ashamed of all they have done, then make known to them the design of the temple. Let me go to the.
Okay. Says, while the man was sitting beside me, I heard someone speak out to me from the temple. He said to me, Mortal, this is the place of my throne, the place for the soles of my feet, where I will reside among the people of Israel forever. The house of Israel shall no more defile my name, neither they nor their kings, by their prostitution, by sacrificing to their kings at their death. When they placed their threshold by my threshold, and their doorpost beside my doorpost, with only a wall between me and them, they were defiling my holy name by their abominations, and they committed that they committed. Therefore, I have consumed them in my anger. Now let them put away their idolatry and sacrifice to their kings far from me, and I will reside among them forever. As for you, mortal, describe the temple to the house of Israel, and let them measure the pattern, and let them be ashamed of their iniquities. When they are ashamed of all that they have done, make known to them the plan of the temple, its arrangement, its exists. I'm sorry, its exits. There we go, and its entrances and its whole form. So this doesn't say that the temple won't be built. In fact, he says that they'll be ashamed when it's built. It says, "Let them be ashamed of their iniquities when they see." I'm sorry, when they are ashamed of all that they have done, make known to them the plan of the temple.
Yeah, but it's saying if they are ashamed of themselves, yeah, make known the design, but it's never going to happen because they didn't follow through with it. They weren't ashamed of themselves. They kept going after idols and everything.
I first of all, I would disagree with that. Second of all, I would suggest that this is not suggesting that the temple is not going to be built. In fact, that would contradict all the other prophecies about the temple in the Bible. In fact, Ezekiel literally states that all of these are going to come true. So, saying that like the most important prophecy that takes up a third of the book of Israel, a third of the book of Ezekiel, just didn't come true because the Israelites just, golly gee, they were too disobedient. What a nonsensical thing for Yahweh to utter, that my prophecies will for sure be coming true, except 1/3 of them you can actually just throw away.
Well, he had conditional prophecies, though. He had conditional prophecies in Exodus.
Jeremiah did.
Or Deuteronomy.
Jeremiah had conditional prophecy. Ezekiel doesn't really have many of them. In fact, this
Okay.
if he has one, this is the closest you're going to get.
All right. Well, yeah, we're getting a little far afield here, but I understand. I do think it was an if then statement. I'd have to dig, but I do think there's conditional prophecies like in Deuteronomy, like, hey, if you follow me, good
Yes.
things are going to happen to you. If you don't, bad things are going to happen.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Have you read Deuteronomy 30?
Yep.
Because Deuteronomy 30 just makes like the Christian narrative impossible.
Oh, what part of it?
So it says in Deuteronomy 30 that when like this end period comes where God circumcises the hearts of the people, that they're still going to have to follow the law of Moses. Grab verses 6 through 9.
30, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Okay. 6 through 9. And the Lord will circumcise your heart and the heart of your offspring, so you will love the Lord your God with all your heart. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Okay.
When does that happen according to the Bible? When does when do the people get their hearts circumcised?
You tell me.
When God comes down, like when he institutes his final plan, where he Ezekiel 36 says he's going to give them a new heart. Jeremiah 31, he's going to give them a new covenant, and everybody, young and small, will know the Lord. That's the period we're talking about. Now, Paul says that this happens when you believe in Jesus. Do you probably agree with that, right? Okay.
Yes.
So what that means is that if you're a Christian, Paul is completely wrong because he said not to follow the law, and God said, absolutely, you're going to be following this law.
No, we don't. We uphold the law, is what Paul says.
You don't.
Because Christ is the end of the law.
He's not.
Okay.
That's what Paul said. Jesus didn't say that, and neither does the Old Testament. What it says in verse 8 says, "Then you shall again." Oh, well, he's not. That's your assumption. I'm telling you why he's not. Then you shall again obey the Lord, observing all of his commandments that I am commanding you today. Does he say observing the commandments? What does it mean to observe a commandment?
Well, follow it.
But yeah, exactly. That's what he wants you to do. He wants you to follow these commandments, even after the hearts have been circumcised. There's not going to be a time period where they're not following these laws according to Yahweh. In fact, in Jeremiah 33, when the Messiah comes, they're going to be offering Levitical sacrifices forever.
All right. I don't know about that one.
I can show you.
Okay.
It's a short verse. It's in 33. It shows up again actually in Jeremiah 23, but I think 33 is the most clear read. Surely the days are coming, says the Lord, when I will fulfill the promise I made to the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. In those days and at that time, I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David, and he shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. So we would understand that the branch of David is the Messiah, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. It says he's going to execute justice and righteousness in the land. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will live in safety. That seems like a promise of physical safety. And this is the name by which it will be called. The Lord is our righteousness. For, thus saith the Lord, David shall never lack a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel, and the Levitical priests shall never lack a man in my presence to offer burnt offerings, to make grain offerings, and to make sacrifices for all time. So if the Levites, the actual Levites, are making sacrifices for all time, which is what Ezekiel says as well, it stands to reason that Jesus could never be the final sacrifice, especially given the fact that Hebrews makes the claim that the Levitical priesthood wasn't even good enough. It had to get replaced by Jesus's Melchizedek priesthood.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I don't have a perfect answer for you on that one. That's one I struggle with, but
there's some tough ones.
Yeah, that is a tough one. I would agree. That's not an easy one to resolve.
Yeah.
But overall, Justin, I appreciate the conversation. I think, don't agree 100% with you, but I can see your points. And, you know, I just wanted to call in and you give me some stuff to think about. So I appreciate it.
Hey, fair enough. Thanks for coming in.
And
Steele,
sorry about
you've
your
been
mom.
perfectly pleasant, so no worries.
Sorry about, okay. Thank you.
All right, cheers. All right, well, that was fun. I wasn't sure if we were going to get like any like Bible talk tonight, but look, we did. Pretty much, I would say almost right out of the gate. Fantastic. I mean, we did have to go through username. That was a rough conversation. But that was fun. Let me write down a note real quick so I don't remember what we talked about. It started out literally on the Kalam. So we went from the Kalam to the Bible. Let's see. All right. I wonder how many times does the DZ audience need to hear Isaiah 53 before they can recite from memory my my interpretation of the passage? I think quite a few people actually can at this point. They've heard it so many times because it's like I don't know why it's the only one that Christians know. It's wild to me. But let me grab a couple of super chats while I'm doing that. Friends, Venus is with us. I'm excited. And I still do have the link in the description of the YouTube video for Venus's fundraiser, who is trying to buy a computer. She got accepted to a biomedical program, but doesn't have a computer. She needs a computer for school. It's really important. And we're trying to raise money to get her to that goal, all the way to Australia, by the way. That's the other hard part is, as in America, we just have these parts. Like we have lots of them. Getting them to Africa, fucking A, Australia is a different story. Shipping is very expensive out there. Fucking, I got Toto in my head or some shit.
I'm sorry, guys. I'll turn on my camera in a second. I just literally fell asleep in last night's makeup, so I've got to sort that out.
Yeah, I do that all the time. It's terrible. Yeah. Let me.
Really?
Anyways,
What concealer do you use? What shade?
You know what? Maybe it's Maybelline. But I actually don't know. Yeah.
Oh no, that's not fair.
Actually, if I did wear makeup, I feel like I would be that basic person that just went to like Walmart. I can't imagine liking having that stuff on my face. But oh my god, I don't know what it's like. Sneak. Thank you for the 13-hour super chat. Says there once was a tuber called Justin, after whom all the ladies were lusting. Oh fuck, I don't know about that. With his pretty two cats, they are pretty though. He took calls that were bats. That's true. And all theists balls he was busted. That might be true. And I still came in and it was being nice, but I put the heat on him a little bit. Maybe even undeservedly, but I think we're having fun. Hey, David Burke, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Stopping by to say hi and help out. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. By the way, grew up in Eastlake. No fucking way. I know exactly where you're at. Okay. Eastlake, North High, undergrad and law school in Cleveland. Keep it up. Fuck yeah, David. So you did what most people did. You got educated and got the fuck out. I get it. I see ya. Well, listen, thanks for letting me know. There's a surprising amount of people from Ohio out there. And Adam says, does missionary use the Filbro arguments? Okay, no. Most missionaries are never going to use these Filbro arguments. No. That's not something that they do. Hello, do you have a minute to talk about grounding axioms, our Lord, and contingency? That would never happen. Most of the people that are doing like soul winning, like public soul winning, they didn't go to school to study philosophy. Like they're not the types that you're going to see doing missionary work. William, my friend, thank you for the super chat. Says, have you ever heard of the Douay Rheims only movement? Yes, I'm familiar with it. In fact, I got one downstairs. The Catholic counterpart to the KJV, Onlyus. Is Douay Rheims as bad as the KJV? Yes, it's just as bad. And I'll tell you why. Because it's not even a full, like a real translation of the Hebrew Old Testament. Basically, it's the Latin Vulgate. Or is it Latin Vulgate or Old Latin? Shit. If it's the Old Latin, then it's just translation of Septuagint. Let me check. So the Old Latin manuscripts were prior to the Vulgate that Jerome did. Those were a direct copy, basically, of the Greek Septuagint. So when Jerome went back to kind of like update the Latin text, he went back to the original sources and said, listen, we should actually look at the sources. Okay, so I'm looking here. The Douay-Rheims Latin is actually of the Vulgate. It's not the Old Latin. So the Latin actually in there should be decent. The English, I'm sure, is going to be super apologetic because it was commissioned by the Catholic Church. They paid for it. And you know they had rules. You know they put a ton of rules on him. David with another super chat. Thank you, friend. 150 pages into Christian theology by Erickson. Fucking A. That's what I'm talking about. Should be called Christian rationalization. Lots of it. Yes. The only difference between Erickson and some of the others who wrote textbooks for Christian theology is there are quite a few occasions where Erickson will point out the weakness of the position, saying this is the argument you need, this is the position, here are the weaknesses of it. That's why I appreciate Erickson. But is he doing some pretzeling? Obviously. He's a Christian. You have to. And David with another super chat, big W, is Paul belief based on personal revelation not reliable? Romans 2:12 I don't know what et sec means. Is Paul saying to follow the law? Okay, so Romans 2 is a wild one. Paul is super contradicting himself on the law. He talks about how people who don't have the law, who follow the law, are actually doing what is good. Paul himself says that doing the law is technically good. He sets out in Romans chapter 6, because he says, should we then continue on sinning because grace will abound? Heavens no. So he's like, listen, you should still follow the law. The law is good. It is your task. It was your taskmaster to teach you what was right. But now you're not bound by it, meaning your salvation isn't bound by it. So Paul is like really weird in that he seems to be, when he talks to the Greeks, he's like, don't do the law. You're bound by it if you do any of it. But in Romans, he says it's a good thing, and then also in Corinthians, he says, "Hey, I'm not bound by it." So it's just a really he's double speaking all over the place. Can Amrock says Steele needs to account for why Jesus was harmed, but ignores the clear statements in 53:2 and 3 that he's incel grade busted. True. It's hard if you read the context. It's hard to put Jesus in Isaiah, and I get it. I really do get it. When you read those words, you're like, wow, that sounds a lot like Jesus. Yeah, because they wrote the fucking story to sound that way because they were trying to pigeonhole him into a prophecy somewhere. But if you know the context, it's clearly not an individual. Mr. Peabody the Skeptic, hell yeah, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. I love the Santa mug. You must have got them. Well, my cups runneth over. Rip to Turtle Mug. You know what? I am, Mr. Peabody, talking to someone on Etsy who does custom mugging to remake it. So hope is not lost. But it does not exist anymore. It has to be custom made. But Doug provides 4 mugs, Black Santa, South Park X, Miss Drake, and a love mug. Hell yeah. I thought that was a good collection. You signed no Carnage signature? No way you packed them by yourself. Haha, Doug abides. Listen, I did actually pack those by myself. But to be fair, I would imagine if Carnage packed them, she would have done a better job. That's my inkling. But nevertheless, I'm glad you got them. Thanks for letting me know. And I'll keep a lookout. Keep a lookout for Tortoise. We're gonna make things happen. All right, I said Bang was next, and then after that is I believe Omnipotent Mango, and then Dahlia. That should be the order. Welcome in, Bang. Are you at least 18?
Yeah,
Cool. And do you believe in God?
yeah.
Cool. Which one?
Muslim.
Awesome. So do you hold to the hadiths or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. What do you think is a compelling argument for the God you believe in, for Allah?
I think that, well, I think that God's just like an intuitive thing in which it's going to be based on what we usually use for our seemings in the world. Like when we look at the universe and we know that the universe is a set of um, occurrences that are explainable, right? And what we call contingent, right? We would
I mean, the
use these
elements?
inferences, yeah, the
Okay, what about them?
elements or the parts. Yeah, we would just use the same inferences that we use in our day-to-day life about things which are explainable, right? Or explicable, right? We would say if we see a human, then we would assume, based on valid intuition and observation, that the human can speak, he can see, he can touch, he can smell, unless we have other reasons to believe otherwise, right? Unless we have counter reasons to believe otherwise. Well,
Where's the inference
it
for
seems
God?
like, yeah, the inference is that the universe would be a set of physical facts that are contingent on each other or other stuff, right? And we would make the inference that the universe would not be something inexplicable, right? Something that does not have an explanation, because um,
I
we
don't
run
understand
on
what
the
you mean here.
intuition that
Do you think that I think
I'm
the
saying.
universe has no explanation?
No, I'm saying that we as humans don't have a reason to believe that the universe doesn't have an explanation.
Does God have an
Do
explanation?
you agree with that?
I don't know if I do, but do you think God has an explanation?
No, not
Oh,
in a causal or a what do you call it? Yeah, like a dependency sense.
well, okay. So that means there can exist logically
God would just be the necessary.
things
God would just be the
that
necessary
are
thing.
that are necessary or brute facts, right?
Well, they can't. Well, depends on your worldview, right? If you hold to like brute facts, then for what reason would you hold to brute facts, right? If you're saying that there could be at least one fact that is just true without any reason, then why would the statement itself that you just said not be false based on a
Because I
brute fact?
assume you think God is a brute fact. Do you not?
No, I don't think God is a brute fact. I think God is necessary. There's a
Oh,
difference.
well, I think the universe is necessary. And the difference is I actually know that the
Well, by
universe
virtue of
exists
what?
by the
By
virtue of
virtue
the
of what
fact
is
that
the
that
universe
it exists and you
necessary?
can't get something from nothing.
No, but like,
So if you can't get something from nothing and you
just
have
because something
something, then
exists
it
doesn't mean
stands
it's
to reason there was never nothing. It's a really easy
no. But I'm
syllogism.
saying we don't just say something is necessary because it exists. Otherwise, there wouldn't be no reason to posit
Well,
any
it's
differences
necessary because
between the types of existence.
it can't not exist.
Wait, what's the argument for that?
I just gave it
I'm
to
just
you.
curious. Like,
Nothing
yeah,
has
no,
no
that's the
causal
claim. You're saying
power,
it
so
couldn't
you
have
can't get
existed.
something from nothing. There exists something, therefore there was never
But
nothing.
power is just power is just a property that you can ascribe to different subjects, right? We would say the
Power is the
universe is just
ability
one
to do
subject.
something.
Yeah, that's a property. That's a predicate, right? We would ascribe that to different subjects, but it depends on the subject itself. Anything can have the ability to do something, but it depends on the nature of that thing, whether it's applicable to it or not,
Well,
right?
nothing has
So
no properties or causal power. That's my point.
yeah, I'm not saying nothing
Okay. So I have
exists.
no reason to believe
I'm
there
not
was ever
saying
nothing.
okay, I agree with you, but then it depends on what that thing is. You're saying it's the universe. I'm saying there's no reason to believe that, given the
Well,
fact that we see that the universe is a set of
why would I
contingent
think that the
facts.
universe? Well, the universe is made up of what you might call contingent
Yeah,
elements.
that's called a
But what's
set
the argument for the universe itself being contingent?
because it's just a set. The set is just an abstract representation of what it makes
No,
up of, right?
it
So,
that would
do
be
you
a
believe that the
composition
universe is like?
fallacy. Items
Do
within
you define the universe?
a set doesn't take on the parameters or the characteristics of the
No
elements within
problem.
the set.
Do you want to define the universe for us?
All that exists.
Okay, so is all that exists physical in your worldview?
I would say physical, but not material.
Okay, are physical things not contingent?
I don't know if they are. For example, I would say quantum fields are physical, but they can't not exist as far as we know, which means they wouldn't be contingent. They'd be eternal and necessary. In
Wait,
fact,
they
if
can't
if
not
if
exist.
energy
But
is
why would you say
conserved,
that? How did you come
if
to this
energy is
conclusion that they can't not
conserved and we
exist?
have energy, it means that it always existed.
But energy is just the ability to do something, right? It's like a
Not
property
really.
of a subject, right?
That's a
Yeah,
good way to
it is.
describe it, but energy is a little more difficult than that.
No, energy always takes on a form or a medium. It's not like it's
I
just
agree,
an
but
entity that
it's not a
exists.
substance, and describing it as the ability to do work, I think is it's too abstract. People don't really know what that means. When we talk about energy, all we're
Okay,
saying is
but what do
that
you
a
mean
given
if you
thing
don't know what it means? Why would you
a
posit it?
has a change in either position or velocity. That's all that energy is. It just means something is changing.
Yeah, but we ascribe that to subjects, like an actual thing, like that exists, like concretely, right? It's not just like this thing that's floating around. It's something that you ascribe to, it's a property you ascribe to an object. And I'm saying, even quantum
No, it's not.
objects
It's
would be considered contingent
it's
because
a
if
quantitative
if I may just
property if it's
finish,
a property.
if I may just finish, the energy is a property of even quantum objects because it would ascribe the fact that they're able to do something. These particles have the ability to do something,
Why
or
do they have
exert
the
some kind of
ability?
power. Why do they have the ability?
Yeah.
Well,
Because they're
that's a
changing.
good question. That's a good question. They have that ability because of a different explanation, because they're contingent. How do you
Because
know that they're
they're
contingent? No,
changing.
how do you know that?
That's what it
No,
means to
no,
have
no,
energy.
no. Them changing is a property of what energy is. It's
No.
an abstraction of the energy. Yeah, it
The
is.
word
Like
energy is a
to change.
quantitative analysis of what the physical is doing.
Yes. Now, if the subject is moving, that just means energy, right?
If
Or
it's moving
changing,
or
it means
changing, it
energy,
has
correct?
energy.
Yeah. No,
Well,
okay, no
we would
problem. But
call it
you're
energy,
asking
but energy is actually just describing the measurement of change. It's not there's not like a thing. You can't put energy in a bucket.
exactly. That's what I was telling you. So I'm glad we agree now on this thing, right? So energy is not this concrete thing that just exists like by itself. It's a property we
I
ascribe to
didn't
subjects,
I
right?
didn't say
Did
that
say that.
it was
We
a
just
thing that
agreed to that.
existed by itself.
Okay, we agree. It's not something that exists by itself. It's
So
something
what's
that
your
we
point?
ascribe to subjects, right? Yeah, my point is, energy is irrelevant to this topic because energy, we would both agree that energy is just a property of a subject that's able to do work or change or move. Okay, so when we define the universe as all physical facts or everything that exists, but you believe that everything that exists would be physical or material, well, these are synonymous.
They're not.
Then okay, what would be the difference?
Matter is when you have a combination of typically particles. At a minimum, there'll be particles. Some people would even say atoms.
Okay, do you think everything that exists is physical or material necessarily?
I said physical.
Okay, yeah, but physical instances are contingent because they begin to exist and
I
they
don't
change.
agree. I don't think they do begin to exist. That's what I tried to tell you. There
What
are
does it mean to change?
in position and velocity. I just told you.
So yeah, so when something changes, you're saying all physical facts or physical things change.
I didn't say
Changing
that.
is going from one. You did say that, bro. You
I
said
said I said
every
I
physical thing has energy, and energy is the ability to move or change. So therefore, everything that's physical does
first
change.
of all, that has never left my mouth. What I said was something maybe related to that, but I mean, regardless, I
I'm
do
pretty sure you said that. We
agree
can go back to
that
the recording.
physical entities have energy. We agree there.
Okay, then you agree. Like I'm just summarizing what you're saying in a
But I didn't say
argument. You're
it. That's
saying
all I'm telling you.
if everything is physical and everything has the ability to change, then everything that's physical has energy
I didn't
because energy
say
is the ability to change.
again. I didn't say
Look,
everything has
I'm not
the
saying you're saying it
ability to
verbatim.
change.
I'm not saying you're saying it verbatim. I am taking the entailments of what you're saying, and I'm making a conclusion from it. Right? Is that unfair?
I don't think it's unfair. I just think you're being
Okay.
a little heavy-handed.
Or well, sorry, I'm just working with what you're telling me, right? So going back to the point,
I don't
the
think. By the way,
universe is
I don't think.
all that exists.
I don't think the
Yeah.
reason why I said everything is not in my statement is because I don't know if literally everything changes. I don't know. Gravity, very well, if it's a field, which I think it is, we would consider a constant, not changing.
Gravity is itself also a property of a physical object.
What
Did you hear what
object?
he said? He said if it's a field.
Sorry, what object? Any object with a mass.
Gravity doesn't have mass.
No, I'm saying gravity is a property of any object with a mass.
I don't think so. It seems to be a field.
No, I know what gravity is. It's a field, right? But it's a property of an object that has a mass.
No, it's not.
If it's a field, it wouldn't be.
Well,
The field
I'm
would
not a
be interacting
physicist,
with the
but
material.
would you say that like to me that this is not like relevant as much, but I'm saying, do you believe like that a mass is necessary for gravitational forces?
Say it one more time. You said it too fast.
Are you saying a mass is not necessary for gravitational force?
I don't think that is what he said.
I
He said
don't
that
think that's what
gravity
I
is a
said.
field.
I'm asking him a question. I'm not even.
I'm
talking
saying
to
it's
him, by the way.
a field. If there are no bodies with mass within the field, then
Yeah.
you
The field
you
would
wouldn't
still
see
exist.
anything happening. But the
Oh, okay,
field would
cool.
exist.
Then we agree. Then we agree.
There's just nothing for it to act on.
In general, I just want to go back to the main point because we keep pivoting to these like intangible points. You define the universe as everything that exists, but you also believe that everything that exists
That's
is
the
physical.
definition of it.
A necessary physical property is to have energy. Energy is to change, or the ability is to change, right? But that's what would.
You understand that I'm talking about the
inference that I would
universe
say would
as a
make it
set.
true. Yes,
The
a set
universe is made up
something
of
abstract.
elements. The
A
elements
set is
within
an
the
abstract.
universe obviously has energy. You could even say if the universe is closed that the universe contains energy. I don't think it is. I would need a compelling argument to think that the world was or the universe
You think
was
like
an
a set is
isolated
not abstract?
finite system.
Sorry, you think a set is not abstract? Like a set is not just an abstraction
No
of like
one
the
said
things that
that.
represent it?
It's like
I'm asking
We're
a
not
question.
talking about
I'm asking a question.
set theory here.
I'm
You need to
asking
clean out
a
your ears,
question.
buddy.
I'm asking a
We're not
question to
talking about
clarify.
set theory though.
I'm asking a question to clarify.
Okay, an irrelevant one.
So deconstruct. Do you believe that this set is an abstract or a concrete thing?
Well, it can be abstract, like sets of numbers.
Can
you
be
can also
like okay. So,
You can
so when you talk
also
about the
have
universe,
sets of
yeah.
like physical things or sets of material, but they're still kind of abstract. When you describe a set, you're personally putting a boundary on
It's either
something.
abstract or concrete. You can't. It can't be both.
Okay, the set itself is abstract. The elements are typically
Okay,
concrete
good.
or abstract.
Okay, good. So the elements of the set can be concrete or abstract. The set is necessarily abstract. Okay, cool. We agree. The universe is a set of concrete objects, right? It's not just abstract. So the set of
What do you mean
the
by
universe here would just represent
concrete
the
objects?
set.
What do you
The
think
set
that
be
means?
like things that exist outside of the mind.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know if concrete was
Yeah,
the word I would
all
use,
of
but go
these
for it.
things that we call the universe exist outside of the mind, and they change, right?
Mhm.
Changing is going from point A to point 2, point 1 to point 2, or state 1 to state 2, in which state 2 is a sequence from state 1, okay, or state A. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I
Okay, so
agree.
that means
Changing
that means
requires
there's
cause and
a
effect, and then you
sequential.
would have sequences.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's an
Okay, but
infinite
this is
cycle
what we would define as
in both
contingent.
directions.
This is what we would define as contingent.
Yeah,
Because
I know what you define
there's
as
a dependency
contingent. Yeah,
relation.
and it's an
All
infinite
right. So
chain
then,
of
from everything that we
Can you
said, it
just
would
give the
follow.
argument instead of like pop quizzing Justin?
I'm sorry,
Like,
Venus.
it's so
I
annoying when you.
really
Bang,
appreciate
bang,
that you
fair.
want to get to
Bang,
the
we
point.
already know the
I want
argument.
to
We've
talk
done
to
it 1,000
deconstruct.
times. Bang, we've done the contingency argument 1,000 times.
I
You'd
know
go
you know the
faster if you just
argument,
give the
but I
points.
don't know if you
Like, we're going
are.
into idealism here. You're trying to ground abstract
Justin.
concepts in reality, and that's completely irrelevant. We just need your argument for God. Like,
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
So
mind?
wait, what do I call you, host? Because
Do
I
you
don't know the
mind?
name to be
Ems was
honest. I just saw it the
speaking.
first time.
Hey, Kant, you should let someone else talk. Go ahead, Ems.
His name is Justin. And Justin, do you think we should get to the prompt? Why is his God not imaginary?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear the argument for your actual God, rather than rehashing the same
Okay, are you
argument
guys done?
500 times that we've already done.
Look, just
To,
because you
to
heard
be
the argument
fair,
many times doesn't
we can
mean that you
fast
have a
forward it.
refutation
The
for it.
problem with the contingency argument and all of Aquinas' 5 ways is that it assumes that you can't have an infinite regress. You have no good argument for why that is the case. We'll spend the next hour arguing about infinite
I'm
regresses,
not.
and
By the
I'll
way,
be
I'm not
right
even
and
making
you'll
a
be
deductive
wrong.
argument.
So do you want to fast forward to the argument for Allah or
Look,
not?
here's the issue with just assuming and rushing people's
It is not,
perspectives and points because
Bang.
I'm not even making a deductive argument here, like necessarily.
Bang. Can you read?
I'm just using inferences or from basic logical rules that we use, right? So I can use something called McCarthy's circumscription, right? Where we take the assumption that something is the case on seemings unless there's reason to hold otherwise.
So
Okay.
what?
It
We'll just make this
seems
quicker. Just
that the
give me
universe
P1 of your
is.
argument. We'll get through it much
I don't have a
faster.
syllogism. I don't want to
Oh,
give you a
come
syllogism.
on. You've done enough Phil Bro like word salad. I know you know
Wait,
the
I don't want
contingency
to give you a
argument.
syllogism though. Why do I have to give you a syllogism?
Because you're running the contingency argument. That's why.
No, I'm not.
You are.
Just because I mentioned contingency doesn't mean I'm using the contingency
Well,
argument.
which one
Like,
are
this
you?
is
What are you
something
going to
like
run? Which argument are you
I'm
running?
running my own argument. My own argument.
Okay. Then give me the premises.
I-
You made the
An argument
argument,
doesn't
but you
mean
don't know the
wait. An
premises of your
argument
own
doesn't mean it
argument.
has to be in a syllogism. It doesn't have to be a formal argument.
You can give me an informal syllogism. Give me the points.
Just give us something, bro.
Well, I was talking about meta because
you could just meander
unfortunately,
forever. That's a lot of fun. We like
look,
that.
I don't think this is a genuine like conversation because when I am talking about like basic meta concepts, it seems like you just want to disagree because before we actually get to the point, before we talk to about the arguments and
Can
the
you stop being
metaphysical
a
commitments that
victim
we
and
have,
just give the argument?
can you
No
stop
one
like
cares about the
interrupting me
meta.
because I'm not even talking to you by the way.
Yeah, well, you're
So,
complaining
You
about
are
I'm not
talking
talking
to her.
well,
Yes,
I feel
you
like you
are.
guys are complaining about me not giving the argument. And I'm literally
Just
talking.
give the argument.
So,
Stop talking.
Well, stop crying about it. So
Okay,
I'm given the argument,
Okay, premise
right?
one.
And you're disagreeing on basic metaphysical
premise
commitments. Unless we agree to the metaphysical commitments, we can't talk about the premise.
Do you need a feed?
So, are you actually willing? So, Justin, are you actually willing to engage?
I've been doing it the whole time. We're waiting for the argument.
Okay, good. So, I'm not gonna talk to you while I'm being interrupted by two rude people.
Okay, I'll be quiet. I just want to hear the argument.
I don't really care to prove to you specifically, Venus, right? With all due respect, I'm talking to the host, right? So
Yeah,
you're not really relevant to
crybaby.
you're not really relevant to the discussion right now. Sorry.
Yes, she fucking is.
No, she's not because I'm not talking to her.
Actually, you know what? You know what? I'll tell you what, Bang. You're not fucking relevant to this conversation because you're gone because you're a fucking cunt who disrespects women because you're Muslim. Okay.
Oh my god.
It's part of the fucking religion. That's why they do it. All right, let's get that guy out of here.
It's so bad. Like, why do they act like that? But
Because
Justin, don't worry. These guys, they
nothing.
don't offend me. I'm so used to it as someone who like dwells in the philosophy space. Like, they're so disrespectful, but I don't personally care.
Ems, the
Like,
amount
he's just
of
trying to
times-
use me to. He's trying to use me to divert from the argument. That's what they do.
Yeah. The amount of times Ems and I have seen a Muslim guest come up here and refuse to talk to a woman is crazy. It happens at least 50% of the time, at least. Because they get so mad that a woman's going to make them look stupid. Like, it tears them. They can't sleep at night. Like, I swear, these people, like, before they go to bed, they check in their closet and under their sheets for a woman who knows how to argue. Like, it's crazy. Oh, well, let's grab a couple super chats, and then we're going to get Omnipotent Mango. Not a name I've seen yet. Siphus Ignitus. The New Testament authors came up with it from Greek mythology, which is why the names or certain places' ideas are actual gods in Greek. Hades, underworld, Thanatos equals death. So you're not entirely wrong. The New Testament's obviously a mix of Greek and Jewish ideas. It would be uncharitable to say that the Jewish people did not adopt the Greek phrasing for Hades. We see it in other Greek literature. You can find it in the Talmud as well. In fact, I've got it documented. Let me give you an occasion for when that happens. Let's see. So, oh, Josephus even mentions it. But let me grab. Oh my God, there's so many mentions of it. I believe the Dead Sea Scrolls as well. Yeah, the Dead Sea Scrolls mention Hades quite a few occasions. Josephus mentions Hades twice. In the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs, it mentions Hades twice. In the Apocrypha, you know that, it mentions Hades 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 20, about 25 times. And then, let's see, did I get the Talmudic sources in here? Did I miss those? Where'd I put those? You know what? I didn't write down the Talmudic sources for Hades. I better go back and get those. My apologies on that one. I thought I had gotten those. My bad, my bad. But yes, the Jews did adopt it. They were like super Hellenized for sure. The Christians were. Scott says, let's just say it to Christians bluntly. The gospel writers scoured the Old Testament for anything they could say was about Jesus, then wrote gospels around it. Scott, I mean, that's basically it. That's what happened. They had a dead Messiah. They weren't willing to move on like adults. And they said, no, 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 he's coming back. And you know why we know this? Because we scoured the Hebrew Bible. And guess what? We found some passages that are obviously about him, even though the context clearly says otherwise. Our word, you're good to see you, Robin. Your show has helped Atheists United, SLO, argue for atheism. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. I appreciate that. Last night, at our farmer's market booth, a woman said that she deconverted because of us. And that's because of you. Thanks. Rock hard for Doug. Well, hell yeah, Robin. I love to hear it. People in real life. This is real life, y'all. We're doing stuff out here. And from David Burke, thank you for the additional super chat. Apologies. Et sec is Latin for and following. Oh, that's a new one for me. That happens when you become a lawyer. You have to learn, or in medical, I think you learn a bunch of Latin words. Sorry for law, bro. It's going to be okay. I promise it'll be all right. P.S. Brother is electrical engineer and crazed Christian. You know what? I'm actually shocked, pun intended, about the amount of electrical engineers who are still Christian. It's a weird one to me. Roasted him with my DZ PhD. How about that piece of merch? Oh, that might be a dollar maker. Listen, a DZ PhD piece of merch might be worthwhile. I have to look into that. I'll pray about it. I'll let you know what comes back. But we have Omnipotent Mango coming in. Let me grab Omnipotent and we'll get the next conversation rolling here. Welcome in,
I love the super chat.
Mango.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There's some background noise. It sounds like there's a fan.
Yeah, I can turn that off.
Yeah, you might have to. It sounds like you're on speakerphone and there's a fan.
Sounds like you're in the fan, to be quite frank.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I don't know if this is the appropriate place for this. I just discovered you fairly recently, so I'm not sure what your rules are, I guess. But I mostly just have some questions, more so than any like debate or anything like that.
Well, these are debate streams. Unfortunately, I do typically 1 or 2 live streams a month on Sunday night for Q&A. You're welcome to come by on a Q&A and ask whatever you want. But everyone's here to see a robust debate. And be honest, if I turn it into a Q&A, half the audience is just gonna leave.
That makes sense.
Man, sorry though. But find me on a Sunday night.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, cheers, friend.
Yep.
Well, it's glad to know there are people watching at least. Let's move on to Dahlia and then Survivor. I think I talked to a Dahlia just recently. We'll find out if it's the same one. Welcome in, Dahlia. Are you at least 18? Dahlia?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, how you doing?
Sorry about that.
No worries. Dahlia, are you at least 18?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we spoke before.
Yeah.
When was it? How long ago was it?
Oh, I was on there yesterday, but my phone kept acting up, so I wasn't able to join the conversation.
That's right. Okay, I remember now. Well, it seems to be
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
So Dahlia, which God do you believe in?
I believe in the Christian God.
Sure. And why?
That's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Hmm.
I have I have plenty of like I oh, I'd experiences in which I experienced, witness, things happen in the physical to the point where, I just accepted that God is both real and good. I witnessed someone be healed from HIV. I also witnessed
So you have the documents? That'd be impressive.
he had the documents and everything
I'd
from
love
the
to see him.
doctor. Yeah, he of course he's not with me now. This was like a few years ago, but he was healed from HIV. I witnessed
And
someone
and
physically.
why would we believe that story, and why would we believe that he was actually healed? Because there's a pretty high rate of certain types of, well, was he healed or did it like go into remission?
He was healed.
Okay. Was he getting
Yeah,
medical
the
treatment?
doctors note and everything. Yeah, the doctors documentation and everything,
Was he getting
and he was
treatment?
healed. No, he wasn't getting treatment.
So then what was he doing at the doctor's?
Yeah, it seems weird to me that he's
I
got
mean,
doctors.
before he was healed, he was getting treatment for his HIV. Yes, of course he was. But but you know, after that, he stopped. After he was healed, he stopped getting treatment. So
Sure. You do know that like medical, I'll call them marvels or healings happen like to every religion. I've talked to so many people of every religion that think that their God healed somebody that it's kind of a meaningless data point, right? It doesn't mean anything to me unless all of these gods are real or none of them are real.
well, I personally
What was he healed
believe.
from?
Apparently AIDS.
I
Oh,
personally
really?
believe.
So that should be easy to prove.
That's what I said. I'd like to see documentation.
I personally believe that the gods of other different religions are what we call hosts of heavens, and that's written in a scripture within the Bible. But that's
Wait,
another argument for a different day.
but
But
what do you think the host of heaven is?
so I believe that gods from other different religions are the host of heaven or fallen angels.
Oh no, you're
I
right on that
personally,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
you got that one
personally
right.
believe,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
you
But
nailed it. Yeah, don't worry about that.
that's another conversation for another day. But I also witnessed someone who was paralyzed from the waist down,
Hmm.
like get up from a wheelchair and physically walk.
Did you know the
I
person?
witnessed that twice. No, they came
Why
to
is
the
she the
church.
one witnessing all these miracles?
Yeah. How come God doesn't allow the 3 million starving children this year to live?
Well, I believe he's answering those prayers with the thousands of missionaries that are, going to those areas and, healing
Why not
those
with a
children.
miracle? Why not just do a miracle for all of them?
There are miracles that are happening in those areas too that are undocumented.
Yeah, but why are there still 3 million of them dying?
Well, that's why we had the missionary. That's what we had the missionaries for.
Just
They
like the
are
least
going.
effective means. Just
I mean, but
make
he's
this.
answering the prayers, though. I
No, he's
mean,
not.
that's
They're
an answer
dying.
prayer.
They
That's an
prayed for
answer
the
prayer.
babies to die.
No. You pray for people for more laborers to come to the kingdom of God, just like it's
Oh
written in the
no,
scripture.
no, I wouldn't pray for that. I'd pray for the kids to have food.
Well, yeah, that's what the laborers are for, to give them
But
food.
God could do it without the laborers, right?
Yes, I mean he can. That's true.
Because if he's healing people, if he's doing miracles, then like there's no reason why he couldn't do a miracle for the babies. He doesn't have to keep it like within nature. He can just do a miracle. Just make food appear.
That's true.
Right?
I also witnessed. I also have an eye account witness of angels, seeing angels in the physical. I've seen angels in the physical. I've seen Jesus in the physical.
What do you look like?
Are you like a prophetess? Like, why are you the one witnessing all these events? Why specifically you?
I mean, God chooses anyone. God can choose anyone to witness the events. Maybe it's because the state
Sure,
of my
but
heart.
he chose you
God-
once, he chose you twice, he chose you 3 times, he chose you 4 times, he chose you 5 times. Like, at what point do you become a prophet?
I mean, I don't consider myself a prophet. I just consider myself a witness. You know.
But do you see the point? Like, nobody in this room has witnessed any of this stuff, and you yourself have witnessed 5. Or more.
I mean,
5
I
you've
can
said in
pray
like
for
2
you to
minutes.
witness it. I can.
But
I
you
can
see
pray
why
for
I
you
wouldn't
to-
believe that you specifically are so lucky that you were chosen, like you're one of a billion.
Mhm. But yeah, I
It's not compelling,
witnessed.
especially when the stuff you said is very easily demonstrable. If you have a person who was healed from HIV, that is the easiest thing you can test. Simply just,
I mean,
again, have a
well,
a blood picture
that's
before
why
and a
it
blood
wasn't
picture
just
after,
me.
and demonstrate that they're not having any antivirals.
It wasn't just me in that room that witnessed that person get healed from HIV. It was hundreds of people.
You
in that
can't just
room.
witness. You can't just witness somebody be healed from HIV. That's not
I
something
mean,
you can witness.
unless the people in this room was in the room with me, they will be able to witness that too.
Sure.
But unfortunately, you guys were
How
not
could you
with me.
how could you verify? How could you verify that somebody doesn't have a virus in their blood?
I mean,
Like, how is that something you witness?
you can basically pray for people to have encounters with
Sure,
God too,
sure.
and
Sure, but what, you're saying that you witnessed somebody be healed from HIV. How does that work? If somebody has HIV in front of me and suddenly they spontaneously heal, how would I know that?
doctors know. I mean, the doctors know.
So wait, you said you witnessed it happening.
The
Sure,
documentation
you said you
from the doctor.
Dahlia,
I mean,
you
that's
said you
a lie,
witnessed it
right?
happening in front of you. You said you.
Oh yeah, can you please stop yelling over Ems? Would you mind?
Just a second,
Sorry.
Dahlia. But what I'm trying to say is you said you witnessed it happening, meaning it happened in front of you, meaning you didn't just wait for him to go to the doctor and come back.
Well,
and if he went to a doctor, quote unquote, what are the tests they did?
I'm not pretty sure what the test they did, but all I know is that he
Then how would you know? Then how do you know?
I mean, he brought the legit document to the church.
Sure, but that is not what you said. You said you witnessed it happening in front of you.
Real quick, Ems is a medical doctor, just so you know, so he does have some expertise here. So I'm going to let him take this discussion on. But also, I've got to use the restroom. So Venus, you're in charge. Fuck them up if they act up.
So, the reason I'm asking is because you said that you witnessed it happening. If I say that I witnessed something happening, that doesn't mean that I saw something happening in which I did not see any event, like come out of it. Then I waited for a doctor to come in a few days later and tell me that it happened.
So what are you saying? You're saying he's not healed because he brought the documentation to the church, the actual papers.
What?
He brought the papers.
What is the documentation?
The documentation
you do realize he would be one. He would be one. He would be one of like 4 or 5 people. He would be one out of 4 or 5 people out of hundreds of millions of, or maybe is it tens of millions? Like I believe it's high tens of millions or low hundreds of millions of HIV patients. But again, no. It's not about it not being possible. If his doctor saw that his patient was cured of AIDS or HIV at this point, then he would write something about it because he would be writing a 1 in like a few hundred million or 1 in a few tens of millions. Case.
Yeah, the doctor would have documented.
Like I wouldn't pass that up.
There'd be a case report, like
I wouldn't pass that up. And this isn't just a case report. This is 1 in like tens of millions.
He was healed. I witnessed it. I lied to you not.
What's
I
his name?
promise you, I'm not lying. He was healed.
What's his
I
name?
forgot his name. It was years ago, but
You
I
can't,
witnessed him be healed.
Delia.
I witnessed.
You can't promise me something in which you do not know. You
How,
cannot
how,
verify that he
how
had
can you say
HIV in
that
the
I don't
past.
know
You
what I'm
cannot
talking
verify
about?
he had HIV in the past. You cannot verify. I
So
could
you
organize
basically
something in
saying
which I
I'm
have
lying.
somebody come on and say that he has HIV. Say it again.
So you're saying that I'm lying
What were you
because
saying?
I'm telling you the truth. I witnessed it. It was a
No,
long time ago, but I
I'm saying you
witnessed it.
cannot. I'm saying that you cannot have. I'm saying you cannot witness something like that. Because you cannot just witness a virus being annihilated from somebody's blood, and you wouldn't even know the tests required to be able to verify that somebody had HIV and that they no longer have it.
So you're saying he's
A
lying that
person
he
on
has
antiretroviral drugs,
HIV.
a person on antiretroviral drugs becomes undetectable, meaning that their blood is indistinguishable from a person without HIV if they're just on the therapy. How would you know he's not taking therapy? How would you know he had HIV in the past? How would you know that the doctor's note, quote unquote, is not fabricated? How do you know anything? How do you know any of the things you're saying? You can't.
So you're basically saying he was lying? 'Cause what reason does someone have to lie about having HIV in the first place? Why would he go to a church, a
To
church
demonstrate a
that?
miracle, to have donations being sent to the church.
Oh man, that doesn't make sense.
In
You know,
fact,
you go out of
It
your
yeah, it
whole
does.
way just to lie and have HIV.
Yeah.
So he
There are cases of it.
There's
there are cases of
also
it here.
5 out of every 1,000 tests are a false positive.
Oh, fuck.
So about 0.4. I don't know if I did the
I wouldn't, but I wouldn't attribute
statistic right.
that like that
So
alone because we
0.5%.
usually do. I wouldn't attribute that alone, but the point is again that if he's on therapy, then after a while he would be undetectable. You wouldn't be able to tell that he has HIV.
But he was completely healed. If God completely
How
healed
would
him,
you
why would
know?
he
How
need
would
to
you
take
distinguish?
therapy?
How
Do I know?
how
Because he
how
got
would you
the
distinguish?
documentation. Why would he have to lie?
So
Why would the
what is
documentation lie about him having HIV?
what is the
Why would the
documentation? Tell
doctor
me the
lie?
documentation. What
The
is the documentation that he
documentation
brought?
showed that the HIV
Uh-huh.
was completely healed, that the HIV was gone, that the
What
HIV
type
was
of
no
documentation
longer
is that?
detected.
What type of
But
test is that?
anyway,
No longer detected, meaning he's undetectable. How do you know he didn't go on antiretroviral?
why would he have to lie about that? I mean, that's a
Because
document,
he's
a written document from a
because he's
doctor.
again
So you're saying that the
the
doctor
written
lied,
document.
the
No.
doctor
The written
basically said
document
that the
does not
HIV,
distinguish. Again,
the doctor
Delia.
basically said
The written.
instead of saying that he was on an antiviral, instead of saying that he
You
was on
cannot
an
tell that.
antiviral, the doctor said that
The
he
test doesn't show
was
that. The
that
test doesn't show
the
that.
HIV was no longer existent within
The
his
test.
system.
The test.
That
The
doesn't make
test does
sense.
not say that. The test does not say that. It doesn't tell you if he's on ARVs. It doesn't say that. It just tells you if there's a viral load, and if it's below a certain threshold, it's undetectable. In the same way, if he hasn't had any HIV in the first place, how would you know that is not the case? That he's just taking one pill a day. It's literally just one pill a day. How do you know?
But why would he take one pill a day if the HIV is no longer within his system?
How do you
Why
know
would he
it's not?
take,
How do you know it's no longer within his system?
because he told us. Because the documentation showed
Okay,
that the
and
HIV was no longer detected.
the
The
documentation would show the same if he's taking the pills.
But you just said the documentation wouldn't show that.
It
So
wouldn't show
what?
that he is not taking them. It shows that there is no viral load, or that the
I have more to share
viral load
too.
is so low that it's undetectable. Can you listen to what I'm saying? Again, the documentation, the tests would show that the viral load is undetectable, which is a result of the drugs. It does not show you if he's taking the drugs.
Okay. So
Like undetectable doesn't mean healed. That's not what it means. That's why Ems is telling you about virals or whatever the medication is, PrEP. That doesn't mean healed, sis.
I know it doesn't. Because if you stop the medication, the viral load jumps up again.
So I
That is a
witnessed,
more likely
people.
You
So
witness
I
nothing.
also
You cannot
witnessed,
witness something like this.
so I also witnessed a guy who was delivered from a snake, not an actual snake, but it was a demonic spirit. A snake within his system came out. He had problems with his kidney, and so what they did, they prayed over him, and then a snake actually came out. He showed the congregation a picture and everything of the actual snake.
Oh, so you didn't see it?
No, it was the picture of the actual snake.
So why would you think the snake came out of him?
He said he coughed up the snake.
So why would you believe that?
Why would he have a reason to lie?
People lie all the time, especially.
Okay,
So I'll give you an example. I went to a charismatic church that sounds similar to the one you go to now. And people feel pressured to come up with miracle stories, just like in the apostolic movement. Even children feel pressured into faking speaking in tongues because they want to be part of the group. Everyone else is doing it. They don't know that everyone's faking it. And in order to fit in, they've got to fake some stuff too. Churches that do these like miracle healings services, like I lived not too far from what used to be a mega church pastor that was really well known for these healing services. And there are people that will go there, claim that they're healed, and then weeks later they're back there again because in the moment they want to be healed and they want people to celebrate with them. But when reality sets in, it turns out they're not really healed. But when reality sets in, it's too late. You already told your friends that you were healed. You can't then go back and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I guess I'm not healed.
And even then, Justin, like, why would Joseph Smith lie?
Yeah, why would they lie? What's that?
Have you heard of A.A. Allen?
I don't think I have.
So he was basically a minister, a healing minister.
Uh-huh.
And there's videos on YouTube showing him healing people from, wheelchairs.
He's not though.
People. He's a hit. I mean, there's people walking from
I know,
wheelchairs.
but these are
I've
that's what
seen
people do.
walk from wheelchairs.
These are staged. Do you know who James Randi is?
No, I don't know who James Ramsey.
There's a guy. He was a guy who was a heavy skeptic, and he set out, I believe it was in the 80s, to figure out how these like healing services were actually going down, because obviously he knew they weren't real. So he went in there with all kinds of electronic devices to detect radio waves and whatnot, and you'll never fucking guess it. It turned out that people were filling out cards on the way in, giving out their real information, their names, their addresses, their fucking phone numbers, and then that gets fed from somebody in like a back room, like over an earpiece to the dude up on stage. And then they actually call there's a Martha in here with the back pain. And the funny thing is, there's also a lot of people who report after these healing services that they got out of a wheelchair and they never needed one. They didn't come in a wheelchair. They'll see people that look like they're only, hold on. They'll see people that are only slightly mobile, and they'll pull up a wheelchair and say, here, let me help. And then they'll wheel them in on a wheelchair, even though they could have walked. And then during the service, the person who wheeled them in say, hey, this person over here that I put in this row, it doesn't need a wheelchair. They can actually walk, bring them up for healing. And then what's the pastor do? He goes through the whole thing, helping them to walk out of the wheelchair. This is a documented thing that has actually happened, and it's literally recorded on video. And I know people who have done this. I know the charlatans who do this stuff.
Just watch A.A. Allen because he is legit. He is real.
I know.
Galia, can I tell you something? I am West African. Where I'm from, Liberia, it is dirt poor. And there are a million pastors, a million TB Joshuas, a million Jerry Easies, and the place is still dirt poor. People are still starving. And they actually hire these people to do this shit. And there's a video going around on YouTube where there is literally an actor who was being paid by the pastor going off script. Like there's a video of that. They have incentive to do it. It's about money and it's about feeling like you fit in somewhere. Look at me. I have a testimony. God is working with me. God loves me. There's incentive for people to lie and there's so much of it going around. No one can test
But
it.
not
You can't be gullible. You can't believe that everyone who's saying that they threw up a snake and shit like that is doing that stuff. It doesn't make any sense. How can a snake survive in your stomach as that has a pH of like 1 to 3? That's not possible. Why is
but
God
not
letting people be in snakes' stomachs? Dahlia, it doesn't make sense for God to let people be eating snakes or snakes end up in people's stomach, but not feed people food. Like that doesn't make any sense.
I'm telling you, with God, all things are possible. There are things that I witnessed that I was just like, I witnessed someone jump up in the air and stop in time. I witnessed crazy stuff like that. It's things that I've witnessed that, you know, I can attest to that God is
Dahlia,
real and God is not
I'm
imaginary.
gonna ask you a
I've
question.
seen angels in physical.
Have
I've
you
seen
ever?
God in physical.
I'm sure you have. Have you ever been to a healing service where somebody had a leg, like one leg was longer than the other, and they got healed by having the one of them
No, I
lengthened or
never.
shortened? Just
No, I
asking.
never been.
Okay.
I never. Mm-mm. But I've seen angels. I've seen God. I've seen the shadow of God come over me. You
God
know,
can't
in
have a
my room,
shadow.
I could show this scripture. It's a scripture that says
Well,
He has a shadow.
well,
The
it can't
shadow
be
of the
possible
Almighty. Psalms
unless
91.
he has a physical manifestation. Now, I believe that he does in the Hebrew Bible, but he doesn't in the New Testament. The New Testament says otherwise.
God says, "I came not to do away with the law, but to fulfill it."
Well, that's another
It's
problem is he
in
said to
Psalms
follow it.
91 that talked about His shadow.
Yeah, I know. You understand that that
So
doesn't
God
mean he had a
had the
shadow.
shadow.
You understand how idioms work, right?
God showed up to Abraham. God showed up to
Bec-
Jacob.
I agree. That's why I said in the Hebrew Bible he had a physical manifestation. He just does it in the New Testament. That's all. So Dahlia, here's the problem. I've had a lot of experience with these fake healing charlatans. I know some of them personally. I know that this is a ruse,
I have
and I've
experience with
seen it
religion.
happen.
My
I've
father
seen it
was healed
happen
from
many
cancer.
times. This is something that is happening to you. Somebody is tricking you into believing these things, either for
That's
for
not always the
profit
case.
or for
There's some
notoriety
people
or
that
for
experience
fame
real healing.
even. But these aren't real healings. If they were real healings, there would be actual medical documentation for all of
There
these
was,
healings,
there was
and there
medical
never is.
documentation.
There is not. Then
There
show
was
it to
there
us.
was medical.
There
The
never
guy who was
is.
healed from HIV.
There
There was
never
medical
is.
documentation.
Then
There was
show it.
medical
Did you
documentation.
take a picture of
He
it?
showed it. He
You
showed
should
it
took
to the
a
congregation.
snapshot of it. I would have took a
He
fucking
should
picture of
know.
that
He had
shit.
it in his hand though. He had it in
Dahlia,
his
that
hand. Why
shit is gonna
would
say not detectable. They could be on antivirals for that exact reason.
But you said,
Like it's
but
not
you
you.
guys
You need to start through Dahlia. You need to start critically thinking. It's not that they were healed from HIV. That's not how it works. You can't witness something on the fucking micro level. You can't witness a fucking cell being destroyed with your eyes. You can't look in their blood with your eyes unless you have a
I'm
microscope
telling
to
you.
say, Dahlia, listen to me. You can't look at
You
their
gotta
blood with
believe. You
do
gotta
you
believe in
mind?
God.
Hey, I'm being
You
nice to you.
gotta
Don't piss
believe
me
in
off.
God.
Do you mind?
Dahlia,
Do you mind?
just
Thank
chill.
You
you.
gotta believe in God. God is
I know
real.
you're fighting.
God
I
is
know the
real.
cognitive dissonance in you is
The
fighting.
proverb says that with many words, transgression is not lacking. So pause it. You're muted. No one can hear you. Go ahead, Venus.
Like, she fucking threw my train of thought off. But you can't see someone's blood to say that there's no HIV in there. That's not how it works. There's no special HIV just floating around. You can't see that. All you do is you rely on the scientific method to test your friend. Your friend also went on treatment that you said. That treatment was probably the antivirals we're talking about. That makes it non-detectable. That doesn't heal or cure you, okay? It just means it's not detectable. You're never going to find on a piece of paper, you are healed from HIV now. You're not going to find that. And if they were, it would be published for us to all look at because that's a very, very rare case. Multiple people, multiple doctors would want to peer review that and test that. So that's not what happened. They weren't healed from HIV. Please stop saying that. That never happened.
Am I unmuted now?
Yeah.
Am I muted? So the paper didn't actually say he was healed. It said it was non-detectable. It was non-detectable. And he showed it to the congregation. Now, as far as the antiviral, you said that it will show on the paper whether or not he was taking antivirals or not. Okay.
Yeah.
All he said that it was undetected. Now, someone can look at their genitals, which I'm sure he probably did, and see that the HIV was gone, you know. But I'm just
What
showing you, the things in which I've
Daria?
seen. I've seen
You looked
angels.
at his
I've
nuts, did
seen,
you? You looked at his nuts to see that the
no, I
HIV
look
was
at the
gone?
documentation, of course. I look at the
Okay, and it said
documentation.
non-detectable. It said non-detectable, which doesn't mean healed. Did it say healed on that paper or did it say non-detectable?
Why would it say healed? Why would it say healed?
Exactly. Because you can't be fucking healed from HIV. Like,
Got
oh
to
my
believe.
God.
I'm telling you what I saw. I'm telling
Non-detectable
you,
doesn't mean healed. Okay, love?
I've seen people come from a wheelchair and paralyzed. The lady was
You
paralyzed from the
she
You
waist
didn't know.
wasn't.
down.
You didn't know that they were. You didn't know
She
that they
Paralyzed.
were
wasn't.
paralyzed.
I just
She
You
just
didn't
hold
was
know
on for a
that.
second.
paralyzed.
Dahlia,
They tried to
just
lift her up
pause for a second.
before.
No one can hear you. I had to mute you. Listen, shouting Jesus stuff at us is never going to work here. So I'm going to show you like a 3-minute video, 4-minute video, about 3 minutes of Peter Popoff showing you the goofy tricks that these people are pulling that convince people like you that these miracles are happening. I'm telling you, these are not miracles happening. They're not real. These are people being hoodwinked, and we're trying to help you to find out, like, to let you find out that you're being hoodwinked. They're tricking you into believing that this is actually happening. Let me change the size of this real quick, though. The size is rather large. There we go. And should be a little bit better. And then everyone shout if you can't hear the audio. You should be able to hear the audio. Oh, you can't hear the audio? It did not import the audio. Son of a
You
bitch.
guys know that Whitney Houston in the microwave meme? That's what I was trying to do.
I can import it though real quick. Give me a second. My auto import did not auto import, but I can auto import that shit. Hold on. I'm just gonna put it on the Safari web browser real quick, and then import Safari on my soundboard, and we'll get it. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that audio pipeline was not plugged in. So let me just copy and paste this to the other browser, and then import the audio real quick. I need like waiting music.
I tried to give you some last time. We need an uncopyrighted one. Wait, no, I can do the waiting music.
This is really good, actually. This is my favorite, actually. Okay. Now I'm thinking y'all should be able to hear it.
Cancer with your fist.
Yes, we can.
At the time, Popoff was pulling in nearly $4 million a year, healing people on his miracle crusades.
You've got cancer of the stomach? Are you ready for God to burn that cancer out? Here it goes in the mighty.
Oh, fuck.
Devil, back off. Back off, devil! Woo. Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
You really believe you're healed?
Yes.
You think your cancers are gone now?
Yes, I believe that because God never lies and we stand in His word. Praise the Lord.
I tell you, from now on, you're going to have a song of victory in your heart. Amen.
To his followers, Popoff seemed to have divine powers.
Is it Gould? Alice Gould?
He knew their names,
Stand up, Alice.
as well as the afflictions they'd come to cure.
God is touching that thyroid condition right now. God is touching your nerves right now. God is touching your eyes. Just lift up your hands, get ready, here it comes.
He also knew the personal details of their
You're going to
lives.
hear good news from Charles before everything is over. I'll tell you, he's going to be completely delivered because of your prayers, because of your faith. Here it comes, complete healing in Jesus' mighty name, right now, right now, right now. Amen. It's all right to praise the Lord.
I suspected that Popoff's revelations were other than divine. The radio scanner we brought to the hall picked up a decidedly worldly source.
Hello, Petey. Can you hear me? If you can't, you're in trouble.
John, is it
Popoff was being prompted by his wife through a wireless earpiece.
John?
Deary Johnson.
She'd gotten her information from prayer cards filled out by the faithful before the show began.
She wants to get rid of the walker.
You want to get rid of this walker, sister? Oh, glory. How long have you been walking on that walker?
About 3 years.
3 years.
She lives at 1627 10th Street.
1627 10th Street? Is that right?
That's right.
She has arthritis all over.
Burning this arthritis right out of your body. Take a few steps just to make the devil mad. Hallelujah. That's it. Just move around a little bit. There she goes. Just walk with me. Oh, glory to God. She's not going to need that walker anymore. God's just putting new strength, new health, burning that arthritis out of her body. Just keep going. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I was able to arrange for another broadcast of the Miracle Crusade on The Tonight Show, but this time the wireless prompting was included. In 1987, Peter Popoff declared bankruptcy.
Greater is he. Greater is he.
So that's what these people do. They don't do real healings. No one's getting healed.
To read this.
Turn that off. This is not something that's really happening in real life. They're tricking people, and they do it a lot. This is not like a one-time occurrence. This is a usual occurrence.
All I know is that I know what I've seen. I know what I've seen, and not everything is fake. Just because some people choose to go on TV and fool the rest of the congregation or the rest of the body of Christ. There are some people that are actually walking, with God, have the power of God, and are able to heal people simultaneously.
That's your assumption.
Some people that walk with God. No, that's not my assumption. That is what I witnessed.
It certainly is. You didn't witness it because you don't know that any of those people were healed. You just believe it that they were healed.
And it's not just the documentation of the guy with the HIV. I've seen angels before.
Tell me about the angels. What do they look like?
They were as high as the ceiling. They were as high as the ceiling. They had on all white, glistening all white. And their
what
voice
they tell you?
The voice was terrible. The voice was terrible, as in, frightening, as in big. That's what I describe the angels as.
Mm-hmm. But what they say to you?
Angels in the physical that look like regular people.
Yes, but what did they say to you?
They were talking about heaven to me.
Why? What's the point of the visit?
Because I prayed for that. I prayed for that.
So you prayed for angels to show up and tell you about heaven, and God said, "Fucking hey, get some angels down there." But the 3 million children that are starving right now, their parents on their knees sobbing, praying to God for literally just some fucking food for their kid to survive the week. God's like, I ain't got time for that shit.
God does have time because he's sending missionaries.
Then why don't he do it? But no, he's not sending missionaries. They're dying.
He is.
They're
There are
dead.
missionaries being,
Dahlia, they are dead. The babies are dying, which means there is no solution happening if they're still dying. You didn't fix the problem. If 100 out of 3 million get saved, you didn't fix the problem. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need the missionaries. They're not essential. No, he doesn't.
Well, the Bible says pray for more labor. Pray
So
for
what?
more
Why?
labor.
Why do I care?
We have to have more people. We have
But
to
the Bible's ridiculous. It doesn't matter what the Bible says. The Bible is ridiculous. It says all kinds of stupid things. It says that the earth is flat. Why do I care what it says?
How that's how is that
Wait,
one scripture?
wait. Do you think that the earth is flat?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, the Bible does. That's my point. The Bible says ridiculous things, and this is just another one of them, that God will answer your prayer. In fact, in Matthew 6, you already know, God said that you don't even have to worry about your food. God takes care of you the same way he takes care of the sparrows, but he doesn't, because his people are starving. No, he doesn't.
He does.
Then how come they're dying? Why are they starving?
There are missionaries being sent to those areas.
Why are they starving?
Are we going to ignore the missionaries that are sent
Why
to those
are
areas?
they starving?
There are missionaries being
Why
sent to those areas.
Why are they starving?
There are missionaries being
Why
sent to
are
areas
they
like
starving then?
to feed those people.
Did they all get fed?
You know what's insane?
Did they all get fed?
They keep coming to those areas.
Did they all get fed?
Not all, of course, not all. Because
what percentage? What percentage? What percentage got fed?
I don't know what percentage.
You take a guess.
I would say about 20%.
20%. So God, who has the ability to make sure 100% get food, sees it fit for only 20% to get food. When he promised in Matthew 6:25, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body or what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? God literally fucking feeds the birds, but he won't feed starving children.
And plus, you forget to mention about the noted miracles that are happening in those areas that aren't documented.
They don't.
How do you know that God is not working in secret?
They don't. And they also don't happen in other religions. There's all kinds of other religions outside of the US where miracles are supposedly happening. They're not happening there either.
Dahlia, why don't we see videos of these pastors in hospitals, Dahlia? Why don't we see them in the hospitals laying hands on people like Matthew, or is it Matthew or Mark? The ending, like the ending of Mark says. Dahlia, why don't we have videos of these? Do you mind? Why don't we have videos of these pastors going around to hospitals and healing people, and doctors checking right after they're done laying hands and seeing that there's no HIV in their blood? Why don't we have that?
If I could heal people, I'd be in every hospital I could find, fucking healing everybody.
Okay, well, that's the prayer. Let's hope he answers it.
But it doesn't get
There was
answered.
actually a study done on prayer, Dahlia. And do you know what's funny? The people that were being prayed for actually had a higher rate of not being healed from whatever they were being prayed for, or they had a higher rate of unsuccess, as opposed to the people who weren't being prayed for. There's been studies done on prayer. It doesn't work, Dahlia. It works at the flip of a coin toss. You have to actually do shit, and then you'll say, oh, after the fucking 20-hour surgery to remove a fucking complex brain tumor, the doctors are sweating, dry heaving, their eyes are burning. And you guys have the audacity to say, amen, after these cunts dedicate their life to helping you guys. Like the people I'm fucking studying with. Like, you can't be serious. Like, tell us, Dahlia, why aren't they in hospitals healing every child with cancer out of that ward?
I follow a pastor right now who is doing that.
Okay, what's he called? What's he called? What's his name?
Charles Cato.
What's his name?
Okay.
He doesn't document it online.
I'm sure he wouldn't. What's his name?
But
what's his name?
He's going to hospitals and he's praying for people.
I'm sure he is. What's his name?
praying for them, but that doesn't do anything.
Charles Cato.
Charles who?
Charles Cato. He's not
How do you
like
spell
a big
it?
CharlesCato.
Well, he's not the one that I'm looking at because he's dead. So it must be a different Charles. So it's not that guy. Does he work for a particular church?
He preaches at the church. He owns the church that he preaches at.
Where can I find his information?
It's online. Mount Calvary
Where?
Baptist Church.
Mount Calvary Baptist Church. Okay. Let's see. Bishop Charles E. Cato Sr. And I'll bet I've seen this so often. I will bet fucking money that he has nothing but fake degrees behind him. How much you want to bet on that?
He has a real degree in theology.
I doubt it.
Theology.
I will bet
does.
money. I've spent over a decade researching people with fake degrees within this field,
At a Bible
and
college.
I'll
He
bet
has
you
a real
money.
degree.
I will bet you money that it's an
Yes.
unaccredited Bible college with only 100 students.
We can
Bishop
bet.
Charles
We
E.
can
Cato
bet.
Sr. was born, I don't need when he was born. Let's see. He migrated to Maryland to attend Bible college and seminary. Interesting. It doesn't say which Bible and college and seminary. I don't know why that is. In 1981, Bishop Cato organized the Mount Calvary Baptist Church. Interesting. We don't hear about where he actually got educated or what his level of education was or if he even completed his master's degree. That's really interesting. And he teaches at a school, but he doesn't have a PhD, which means the school that he teaches at is garbage. You don't get to teach at actual universities that are accredited until you get your PhD. It's part of the accreditation process. What school does he teach at?
It's a Bible college in
What's it
Lanham,
called?
Maryland.
What's it called?
I forgot the name. But it's a Bible college in Lanham, Maryland.
How many students go there, and where is it?
It's on. You can search up Bible College on Good Luck Road. I know where it's at.
Mm-hmm. And?
You can search up Bible College on Good Luck Road. I know where it's at, but
does your website have a link to it?
No, it doesn't.
So your own website doesn't have a link to it. It does have really cheesy clip art, though. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. This is a really.
People your brain. You sold them your brain.
This is really bad. Yes, this is actually sad. Actually, Mount Calvary School of the Bible. I assume that's the name of it. Is that the name of it?
No, that's actually one of our Bible schools for the youth.
Okay. So School of the Bible is for the kids.
Yeah, that's for the kids.
Okay. Where do you think I'd be able to? What do I need to search to find this particular college?
I would just search up Bible College on Good Luck Road. That's all the information.
Good Luck Road?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see if it comes up.
I don't see one. Charles Cato Bible College, Good Luck Road. What's the name of the town?
Lanham.
Lanham?
Lanham.
Lanham. Maryland.
Yes.
Lanham Christian School?
Yes.
Here we go. Let's see what we got. Let's see, National Honor Society. Where's the accreditation? That's not it. I got to be honest. This website, the website actually looks better than what I expected, and these are truly kids, not college students. I think. It says there is no Bible college on Good Luck Road in Lanham, Maryland.
Yes,
You may be thinking of the Lanham Christian School, located
at least not an official one. It could just be in a building calling it a Bible college.
Do you think that this is just one of those fake, hey, meet in my basement type of schools? Have you been there?
No, it's not. It's not.
Have you been
I've
there?
seen the college. No, I rode past it.
Sure. So How many buildings are on the campus?
How many buildings? It's just one huge building.
Gotcha. So it's a one building college, right?
Yeah, I have to get off right now. I'll see you guys later.
All right. Thanks for stopping in, Dahlia. This college, if this is the one she's talking about, even she said this wasn't the one she was talking about, but I actually am doubtful. I actually think this might be the one she was, because this is actually the only Bible college in the area. But I'm willing to bet money that, first of all, they're not accredited, and second of all, most of their professors graduated from that school. Let me see. Oh, they have elementary and middle school curriculum, high school curriculum. Oh, it's not even a fucking college. How are they calling themselves a college then? Oh, it just says Christian school. Well, I don't think there is a Bible college here. Let's see. Let me do this. This might be one occasion for Google AI overview to win. What Bible college does, I guess we'd call them fucking, if one of your leaders goes by bishops, they're a fucking faker, just to be aware. All right, bishop, Charles Cato, teach it. And I'm willing to bet he's teaching a topic that he has no credentials in.
Guys, I'm sorry for yawning on camera. I'm sorry. I got 4 hours of sleep last night. For me, it's 9 a.m. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry for yawning. It's
There
9
he goes.
fucking a.m.
It says, Bishop Charles E. Cato Sr. does not teach at a formal external Bible college or university. Rather, he serves as the dean of the School of the Bible, housed within his own church, Mount Calvary Baptist Church of Lanham, which is what I kind of expected, which is this cheesy website right here, the one that I first had pulled up. Oop, wrong button. There we go. This website with the bad rotating clip art that's got his name on it. And it says the School of Leadership Development sold. What does that even mean? You sold the school? These are all coming
Yeah, apparently
soon
it's
links.
closed. Everyone's in chat is saying that it's closed.
I believe that. I wonder if they have an address on Google Maps. They do have a giving link, obviously. But this is the School of the Bible website. There's one page. That's all you get. Why are there people? This is not a school. This is a business office. What is happening here? Oh, well. Anyways, I have a particular disdain for fake pastors with fake degrees because typically they show up like this asshat. They've got outrageous titles, fake degrees, and they convince poor young women like this that they're educated, that they're smart, that they're experts in what they're doing, and they fucking purchase those goddamn degrees online for $1,000, and now they're walking around like they've got an education, and people believe that shit. People are gullible. That's crazy. Man. Anyways, let me grab a couple of super chats, and we're going to get our next guest in here, which is Don't Bite Whom? Or is it Whomst? There might be some discussion had on this particular topic. It's hard to say. Narcissa, thank you for the super chat. So I will say right now, you heathens that don't use San Mazanos will face your maker. Wait, what's that? What's San Mazanos? Yep. Y'all know what that is? Anyone? I have no idea what that, and I gotta Google that one. Hold on.
I've never heard of that.
San. I guess I'm gonna meet my maker. Oh, it's a famous tomato. It says San Marzano tomatoes are famous, a famous plum tomato variety from Italy. Oh, interesting. Huh. So you heathen that don't you? Okay, well, so what you're suggesting is this is the best kind of tomato. That you're saying? Interesting. I didn't know Italy was well known for tomatoes. I was told, and I don't know if it's true, that it was initially imported into the region from Westerners who came back from the Americas. I could be wrong, though. Tammy says, Omnipotent Mango, you will know him by his fruits. True. And you will. And his cowardice. Venus, if I had that guy's ideology, I would run from you too. Because he knew that you were going to cook him. and he couldn't face the fact that he was going to get cooked by a woman. He'd never live it down.
The clip would forever be there on the internet.
It's true.
No escape.
David, thank you for the additional super chat, buddy. He says, miracles, free will. I've been praying for my Tampa Rays and Bucks and my Cleveland Guardians and Brownies. You're not alone on that one. Clearly, God loves only half of my teams. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I don't believe in curses, but if they exist, the Browns got it. Although, listen, every year is a new year. We'll see what comes. Ontological shock, my friend. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Greetings, Justin. Is there a known historical time frame in which the first and last of the messianic prophecies were produced in the Tanakh? Thanks. Rock hard for Doug. Cheers for M and Viva la Venus. Fucking A.
Viva la Venus.
We have to keep that. VLV is a new hashtag. Viva la Venus. I love it.
I've heard vibes of Venus. I've heard that one.
This has got to stick. Okay. To answer your question, yes. Amos and Hosea are typically the earliest of the prophets, and they wrote roughly around the 10 years prior to the Assyrian invasion. You could say that it was prior to 10 years. Now, the problem with that is the texts that we have aren't written in the language we would expect for that time period. But based on the internal evidence, it would appear that it was written in that time period, even though we know that they were edited later. The latter prophets, say like Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Zechariah, they were written well after, some parts of them well after the exile. So we're talking like even into the 300s. Now, the most prominent prophecy that Christians think is about Jesus is from the book of Daniel, namely chapter 9. That was being edited still in the middle of the 2nd century. So you got a lineage or a whole trail of prophecies all the way from the theoretically the 8th century all the way down to the 2nd century. The reality is none of them are about Jesus, and all you got to do is read them. There's some in between there. And there's some failed prophecies, which are fun. I've got a list of them on my cheat sheet of the failed prophecies, not just for the Messiah, but for the Old Testament itself. Hey, Dylan, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Good afternoon. I was curious if you knew why the writer of Acts would say at 5:30 and 10:39 Jesus was hung on a tree, especially because he would have been cursed, according to Deuteronomy 21. That is true. Thank you, Rockhard for Doug, as well, Dylan. So this is where I think language and translation becomes important, right? So when we get to words like wood and tree, a lot of times they're kind of synonymous. So like eitz in Hebrew could be referred to a piece of wood, it could be a log, or it could be a tree. There's lots of ways to use the word. They have a wide semantic range. I can look up the word specifically used by Paul to see what it was and see if it has that kind of a semantic range, because you guys know me, my background is more in the Hebrew Bible than the Greek. So with the Greek, I'd really just have to look it up. But let me grab it real quick. It shouldn't be too hard to find here. All right, so raised up Jesus when yourselves killed and hanged him on a tree. Okay, and the word is zulo. Let me see. Oh, sorry, I didn't share my screen. I apologize. Let me get my screen share proper. We want, which screen is it? I already lost it. Here we go. Do not import the audio. Boom. Okay. Hopefully that's not too blurry. I might have to work on the resolution for the screen import. But for the word right here, Zulu is the noun in question. And from the Thayer's Greek lexicon, it says wood. That which is made of wood, as a beam from which one is suspended, a gibbet, a cross, a log, or a timber, with holes in which the feet, hands, neck of prisoners were inserted and fastened with thongs and fetter or shackle for the feet of a cudgel, stick, or staffordry. So the Thayer's Greek lexicon is giving it a little tighter semantic range. If the proper translation is tree, I would say that's pretty wide out on the semantic range. And it looks like there's three, and then, hold on, I'm sorry, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 instances where it shows up as tree, 4 where it shows up as staves. Oh, another one for tree, another one for tree. Actually, tree seems pretty common. So it it does appear, I'm sure, outside of the Bible as well. I can check for that some other time. But nevertheless, that seems to be the case. Let me see. It does show up. Let's see. Also in oh shit, a lot of Greek texts. Where's the medical text? Let's see. Well, actually, a lexicon. Oh, it'd take too long to search through. I thought it might highlight it. Anyways, so to answer your question, sorry that was long-winded. Words have a semantic range, and it looks like this one has a wide enough semantic range that it can account for a tree and for a stave or a piece of wood or a cross. Atlas, thank you for the $10 super chat. Great to see Venus again. Absolutely. And remember, we've got a support link for Venus. We're almost to my internal goal that I decided in my heart. We just need a little bit more friends to get to the goal. Go to the description of the video. Help Venus out if you can help, and it would be greatly appreciated. Too bad she wasn't as insufferable to bang as Sarah was the other night. I know. There was a guy last night that crashed out hard on Sarah, and she was being perfectly pleasant.
What on earth?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to watch.
Justin, you've got to tell me what to buy. Like, you've got to tell me what computer to get. Because I don't know what I'm supposed to I don't know what I'm supposed to get. So you have to tell me the
Oh, not a problem. I'll definitely help you out. And don't worry about that. YZ says, next time someone brings up intelligent design, ask them why we need toilet paper. Oh, fair. That's actually a really good point. The oversight. Like, if you can remember, God is really obsessed with cleanliness, right? So like the oversight in the fact that like we have to engage with the uncleanliness pretty routinely is a little bit wild, I would think. So that's a very, very good point. I've never thought about that. Doesn't seem like a good design if I was gonna, put a label on it. Okay. And Narcissa with another super chat says, come on, Dahlia is brainless. Look at that blank expression. She was not given an actual ability to discern any truth. Dahlia is the future of the USA. And unfortunately, I don't know if she's as brainless or if she's just brainwashed. And it could happen to anyone. Dr. Joe probably knows. Thank you for the super chat. Dahlia's God says, never mind those hungry kids. I'll send savior missionaries to convert them. Yeah. But will they still die of starvation? That's what we need to know. Now, of course, Dahlia would say, well, it's okay. They'll go to heaven, which is even better. Okay, then what the fuck's the point of healing them while they're here? Just let them die. Be gone. Be done with it.
Exactly.
Lord Julio, good to see you, says, why didn't he heal himself 3 months ago instead of going to the hospital? Yes. The real miracle, I think, would just be not getting fucking sick ever in the first place. Then you wouldn't need any of these goofy-ass miracles. But nevertheless, he's crying in the comments over you, Venus. Omnipotent Mango, why did you have to say I have cowardice? I agree with you on pretty much all I have heard you speak on. I just wanted to ask some things I didn't want your expertise on and didn't know this wasn't the place. Wait, Mango, we weren't talking about. You were talking about Bang. Did someone say Mango?
I didn't hear Mango. What was I talking about Bang?
Mango, we weren't talking about you. In fact, I didn't even write you down in the notes. You're not even considered opposition, buddy. No. We're talking about Mango or Bang, who came in here and was disrespecting Venus, not you. No. We would never disrespect somebody who didn't deserve it. If you felt that way, I'm sorry. I might have misspoke. Maybe I did misspeak. I hope I didn't, but if I did, if I said Mango. If I did say Mango, I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. Let me get Don't Bite up in here. Oh, I probably did misspeak. It does happen sometimes. When you have as many words coming out of your mouth as mine, eventually something's going to be wrong. Don't Bite Me. It sounds like you might have a fan on. Is there a possibility you can turn it off during the conversation?
Yeah, give me one moment. You have to give me a second. Oh, am I echo?
No, it's not the echo. You're coming in really loud. I got control over the volume, though. Don't worry.
I was about to say because I do not know. Hold on. Let me get up and do my fan.
Actually, I thought I had control over the volume. It's not voluming very well. Let me go to my soundboard. There we go. I can control it right there.
Apollo 11 mission control. Someone said you guys are so fucking funny. Like,
Dude,
I swear to God, atheists are so funny.
Our chat is off the chain. I love the chat. That's why I like watching other people stream. Like, people would think I don't watch other streams, but I watch so many other atheist streams because the chat is off the hook. Don't bite. You got everything figured out?
Yeah, hopefully did that fix it?
It's better.
Gosh,
But
excuse me.
can you get away from your phone though? You're really close to your phone and it's super loud, and I don't even know if I can filter this properly. Holy smokes! Hold on.
Let me see if. Oh, I know what's wrong. Maybe. No.
Oh dear God.
I am so sorry.
It's okay.
Let's see.
I'm gonna turn it way down. Let me see if that helps. Is she quieter now? Say something for us. Don't bite.
Hi.
Okay, the volume does work. I just had to turn it way down. Can you guys still hear the guest?
Yeah, she sounds good. Tell us, chat, because it sounds different when you're on the panel. I don't know.
And plus I'm wearing these big headphones, so it's way louder for me probably than those of you who are just listening on TV. Let's see if chat responds here. No, not so much. Well, some people say yes, some people say no. All right, I'll turn it up a little bit. So don't bite whom. Are you at least 18 and do you believe in some kind of a God?
Yeah, I'm 34 and I do believe in Jesus.
Sure. And why do you believe in Jesus? What's a good reason to believe in Jesus?
Hold on, let me wipe my nose.
Right, ma'am. Where's that music coming from?
That's
Apparently
me.
from-
I'm sorry.
That's not me.
It's me. Let me turn it down. I don't know why I'm so loud over here. Y'all have to forgive me. I've got an old laptop. This is all I've got. The camera's shoddy. Sound. I'm just glad that I'm able to even get it to speaking.
All right.
Anyway, so you asked me a good reason why, like, I believe in Jesus. So, because I don't believe that my faith is based on imagination or blindly following anything. I do believe that there are good reasons to believe. He was, a real historical person, and that his life and his teachings, they were significant. And, the resurrection, that's understood as evidence that he really is who he claimed to be. But I
what's the
also
evidence?
believe in him because Christianity makes sense of things like why the universe exists, why human beings have a sense of morality, and why we have a longing for something greater than ourselves. So really, when I say that I believe in Jesus, I'm not saying I believe because, I was told to do that. I'm saying I've considered what Christianity claims, and I find the evidence in the person of Jesus compelling enough to put my faith in him.
Sure. What's the evidence? Why do you think other people should do the same?
Well, because, let me think. You'll have to forgive me. I have never done anything like this, and so I've never actually publicly spoke, so I may trip over my own words. But let me think of how to word myself.
Take your time. We're not here to be mean to. Holy smokes! What?
I think
That
we
is
just
so
move on.
loud.
Is there more people in the guest box?
I'm so
Maybe.
sorry. I don't know how to control it on my end.
We got one. What kind of device are you using? It's going crazy.
Because she's using a laptop.
Yeah, I'm on a laptop.
Do you have a phone?
Yeah, but
Just use your phone.
It's better the laptop than the phone.
No,
My phone.
it can't be better. Your microphone is nearly broken. I wish you could hear yourself. It's really bad.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Don't
I've
bite.
got
Just use your phone. Just connect to the Wi-Fi and use your phone.
got it on charge. It was fixing to die. I don't like to get on the phone while it's on the charge. I have seen way too many, people, the phone explode. I don't know. That's just what I don't get on it while it's charging. I let it just sit there.
Someone said they'd rather listen to Deathless than her.
Oh, Deathless Light.
Listen to
Oh
Deathless Light.
no. Well, she's not the problem. Her microphone's the problem. Let's do this. Don't bite. There's not much time left in the live stream. I have to be done by 8:00, which is a half hour from now. And I've got a bunch of super chats I still have to read. And if I can't really go late. I've got a hard cut off. So I think what I'll probably do is I'll say, listen, it's Friday night, right? I'll be live. I'm usually live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and also on Friday. Those are my typical days to go live, usually around the same time that you're here right now. Find me on any one of those days. I'm more than happy to talk to you. You sound like a sweet person, but you do need something better than that laptop. That laptop's not going to do.
Let me see if I can. How's
I mean,
that?
Either that or you just need to step back from it.
Is that better or is that worse?
That's better.
Okay, all right. I just disconnected the microphone altogether.
I just got an echo. Yeah, let's just get over with it.
Oh no. Hold on. I can do this. I can do this. Wait a minute. Let me see. Hardware, microphone. How's that?
It's working good enough. Just be careful not to move around too much.
Okay. So yeah, you would ask me about what did you ask me again? I'm sorry.
Well, what's the evidence for Jesus being who he said he was? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Well, basically, so you're asking me for evidence I'm making sure that I'm understanding right. You want evidence that I have specifically for Jesus being who he claimed to be. So I think there's like several different categories here. Jesus he's historically well attested. Even non-Christian sources acknowledge that Jesus existed. I mean, they talk about it. They say Jesus,
I think he existed, but why would I think he's who he said he was?
Okay, let's see. Let me think of how to word myself. Well, number one, the resurrection wasn't even an isolated claim. But, I think also, I don't know, prophecy is a really good line of evidence, but just in my opinion, at the end of the day, people.
I think the prophecy is the worst evidence, to be fair.
People, at the end of the day, people can do what they want to do, but, why not? If it makes you feel good, if it provides you with a comfort, or what have you and whatnot. I mean, I can tell you till I'm blue in the face that Jesus is Lord, but I've done my part. If I tell you that, ball is in your court. If you choose not to do with it, you know what?
But it's not believable.
Your own fault,
So the problem is that the claims that Jesus make aren't believable and they're demonstrably false. So it's not like I chose to not believe in Jesus. I just don't believe in Jesus because the evidence stands against it, right? Like I can't choose to believe in something that I know is false.
And, my question would be, how do you know that it's false? Were you there? I wasn't there either, but I choose
No, the
to
words
believe.
in the book. The words in the book are false.
Well, let me think of how I want to word myself. Y'all have to excuse me. My brain goes in so many different ways.
Sure.
I gotta word myself. So you have, well, let me think. Well, my brain just goes in all the different directions. We can test the historical claims. There's
Sure, I agree.
places and things like that in the Bible that people have, recently found, and we're
I
like,
know.
hey, I've seen, hey, this is neat. I've seen that they even did like some kind of, I don't really know. I'm so Southern, and my wordage is not always like Harvard standard person.
Right.
So if I
So-
just sound really just forgive me. People tell me I sound like I'm cornbread. So
No, you're okay. Most of my family sounds exactly like you do. Don't worry. So the thing
But
that
I had
the
seen
problem with this idea that there are parts in the Bible that really exist, like towns in the Bible really exist, people in the Bible, some of them really exist. I believe all that. The problem is that that doesn't mean that the book is true in the other claims. So, for example, in the Quran, most of those cities and places and people, like, they actually existed. But that doesn't mean that Muhammad received revelation from Gabriel in a cave.
No, Muhammad was a pervert anyways.
But I agree. But the problem is, like, saying that a book got something right, like it named a city that actually existed, doesn't validate the mythological claims. But that's my point.
Well, and I would argue that, like, see, I had recently seen, and honestly, if I was outside looking in, I would say, hey, that's really weird. That's kind of creepy. But I had seen it recently. They did some kind of, I don't know the verbiage, it's some kind of x-ray of the land. However they do that, they can look through multiple layers of the dirt. And they had found what they say that it's the ark.
It's not.
What they say, this big boat structure thing.
Oh boy.
I like to think so because it says in the Bible it's gopher wood, but I'm not sure that I'm
Gopher wood's not a
seeing
real type of wood.
Well, it could have been though. How do we not know it's not like just something that's extinct?
So you're referring to the supposed boat that Ron Wyatt claimed he found. It's been investigated by many geologists, and they've all said the same thing. It's just a natural rock flow, and there's others in the region that are similar to it. The scans did not reveal any wood. It did not reveal any metal rivets. Didn't reveal any ribbings in the boat. And the Turkish government would love for it to be Noah's Ark. They believe in Noah's Ark, just like the Christians. And their reports are saying, no, it's not the Ark. So there's no good reason to believe that Ron White is telling the truth because he's a known fraudster.
I didn't even know it was Ron White. I just had seen something on the television, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I don't really much care for a lot of those people that you had shown, especially people like Peter Popoff. They just set a bad example on us. All of these people that did. I don't believe that there's a single person that is alive, living, that can touch somebody like that Peter Popoff man and make somebody be healed through Jesus. That's not how it works. In my mind, that is not how that works. I just don't. I don't know. Plus, earlier, I have to say something because my I have ADHD. My brain, I've got to. Whoever that was earlier that did not want to be on here because Venus was here and she's a woman, how rude. That was awful. You did not deserve that. You are beautiful.
Yeah,
you did not
thank you.
deserve that. Anyways, I had to say that before that left my brain. I have ADHD, so
It's
I'm
okay, but I mean, it's because of this religion, ma'am. It's because of the religions that sow misogynistic thinking into the minds of young men. And I'm sorry, but Christianity is one of them.
I feel like it could be if you get it from the wrong source. Some Christians out there, they do not live the life exactly right. And so they just come at somebody and they're like, "You're gonna believe because I'm saying it." Like that's not who I am. I give you the option whether or not you want to or not. This is just me. This is how I believe. And I think it's true. At the end of the day, I mean, it's not going to hurt if it ends up not being correct. At least at the end of the day, I was doing something good that wasn't hurting someone.
Well,
Which is what
you
the
might be
goal
trying to do
is
something
to
good,
not hurt
but the
people.
religion overall does horrible things. In fact, the highest ranking location in the United States where a child will be sexually assaulted is in a church. The vast majority of them by deacons and leaders within the church. The next most prevalent place is you're 3 times less. So the church is a dangerous place, and it has been throughout history. They were murdering Jews, forcefully baptizing them. Even Martin Luther. We think of Martin Luther as not one of those bad Catholics. He advocated for confiscating all of the property of the Jews, burning down their temples, and forcing them into ghettos. The Christian the Christian movement by and large has done horrible evils, and while it may have done some good stuff, none of that good stuff is going to counteract the horrific stuff that it's done.
And that is just some of the people. Not every single church is like that. Plus, I don't jive with Catholicism. I can't say it. Catholic Church. Basically, I don't jive with that. I don't believe that you have to go through somebody to get to Jesus. You can just say right now, "Hey, Jesus," and you be talking to him. So I'm not worried about the Catholic Church or whatever. That's not even. They got some wackadoodle views
But
themselves.
I wasn't talking about just a Catholic
the Pope
church.
or whatever, and I don't really get into that.
Martin Luther wasn't Catholic. That's why I brought him up, because I assumed you weren't Catholic. So here's the deal.
I thought he was Catholic.
No, he started out Catholic, and then he broke off from the Catholic Church. That's why he nailed the theses to the door of the church in Wittenberg. But listen, I'm running out of time, unfortunately. I have to finish reading these super chats and end my live stream. I'm on a strict schedule, so I can't talk any further. My deepest apologies. But coming back another night on a Wednesday, Monday, or Friday, and I'm more than happy to pick this conversation back up.
I'll say one thing. I'm going to leave you with this, and then we'll be good. At the end of the day, I can't force you to believe in God and Jesus, and I'm not asking you to just because I do, but I think it's reasonable to dismiss God as imaginary without actually examining the evidence. The universe exists, consciousness exists, objective morality rises questions.
No, there's no objective morality. None of these are reasonable. None of these are reasonable things to defend the mythology. We don't believe in objective morals. There's no good reason to believe in them.
But saying God is
I would more than happily prove to you why your specific God is imaginary, which is what's on my board. It says your God is imaginary. But we're out of time. You got to come back at another date, okay? Well, she was interesting at least. But very, very brainwashed. Okay.
Like, what the fuck is going on? Talking about the fucking ark found in Turkey. Like, girl, I thought she was a troll because she was like, "I'm so southern." This and
Dude,
that. Buckwheat,
I thought so.
cowboy.
My first instinct was, "Oh, this got to be a troll," but never. It's hard to tell sometimes. But friends, I'm going to read some super chats, and then we are going to, we're going to cut it off. But I'll be live again on Monday. There'll be lots of other people live tonight. Hottie with a body. Oh, fuck. All right. Thank you for this live today. Had to euthanize, oh no, my fur baby yesterday. And I'm living with my uber Christian sis who's withholding her kids from me because I'm an atheist. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy shit. Well, there you go. Christianity is not benign. They do evil things for the silliest reasons. But I'm really, really sorry to hear that. About not getting to see your nieces and niece and nephews, and also for your fur baby. That's horrific. I still remember. Yeah, the last two that I had put down was rough. Jay Penitary says, can loser name just state what he thinks would happen if two atoms touched instead of asking the same dumb question a million times? What a weirdo. True. I think the problem is he knew that if he laid the argument out from the beginning, we would just know it already and crush it. So he wanted to step it through, slow talk it, and try to make us to like concede to something somewhere. Guitar Secular, good to see you, buddy. Says, after 40 hours of labor, oh shit. Welcome in my third grandbaby here. Thank Doug for science medical doctors. Rock hard for Doug. Hell yeah. Rock hard for a successful labor. 48 hours is crazy long, but I'm glad that she got through it. My goodness. I hope you're enjoying the baby. I know a lot of people get really stressed out during the first 6 months, that little baby phase. I love it though. But then again, I didn't have to breastfeed. So Cameron says, I do love my Friday nights more than before. I'm sorry. Do I love my Friday nights more than before? Yes, because of Just in Time. Rock hard for Doug. Thank you for all you do, sir. Cameron, thank you, my friend, for being here consistently and supporting the show. I super appreciate it. And Daniel De La Noche also here tonight. Even a vast majority of Christians know that the arm of the Lord is his strength and deliverance. Yeah, it's a pretty, I should have just taken him to the dictionary, like the Christian dictionary. But my feeling was he wouldn't have cared. He already did mention that he has a niche interpretation, but his interpretation was based on, I want it to be Jesus. Also from Jay Penitary, newest deity in the Justinian pantheon is obviously the arm of the Lord. A literal arm, sort of like thing, but with a humerus.
The arm of the Lord. That's the shit that I woke up to. I accidentally requested and then fell asleep. And then my alarm woke me up and I was on the live.
That's some shit I would do.
So I don't know how long I was on there while fucking sleeping, but my alarm woke me up eventually.
You hear now. Yeah. Zencat says, hi, Justin.
Like, oh,
Zencat says, for the Christians who use the excuse that we're all born in sin, have you ever had them read John 10:34 and Matthew 5:48? Not usually, because if they tell me, and here's why, if they tell me that everyone's born in sin, to me, you shouldn't counterpoint this, right? The fact that God would rig a system so that the day you enter the earth, like you're already destined to go to hell, is horrific. Why would you let that one slide? I would never let that one slide because it's such a slam dunk for our side. But let's see. I don't know. I think the interesting thing, though, I don't know. I don't think that a typical Jew would have really cared or agreed with the idea that you're born in sin. I think this is really kind of a niche Christian type of thing. If I was going to say myself, it's hard for me to believe that the Jewish people actually. I've never heard a Jewish person or a commentator mention this particular thing. Anyways, to be fair, in John 10, when he's talking about how ye are gods, I know there's a lot there, but no, Zencat, to be perfectly honest, I would take that every minute of the day, assume they're a Calvinist, and then dunk on them. Logan says, that guy really wanted to know what it was like for two atoms to be touching. True. I have a sense that he's never touched somebody, and that's why he is the way he is. Bojang says, I don't know where cars come from, but I've seen apples grow on trees, so that must mean cars grow on trees too. Right? Exactly. You could, the crazy inferences that people come up with. Hey, Evil Banana, good to see you. It says, I love Venus. She's the bullshit detector that helps the mask slip sooner rather than later. It's true, actually. Very true. Did not fuck around. Shirley says, what is it with guys that can't deal with Venus? Look, a lot of people can't deal with Venus because she's a baddie. Venus is gonna fuck you up.
Exactly. Cluck the tea.
God-eating penguin says, I love how Venus just cuts straight through the BS. Then what was he doing at the doctor's? Both the obvious question and hilarious at the same time. It's so true.
Like he's not getting treatment. He just goes there to get told that he's healed for something they don't even know he has.
He went there and got diagnosed and then decided I'm not going to go back. Sure. But he did go back to get rechecked.
Oh no, you know how it works? She said that you can see it. So I reckon he looked at his nuts and he was like, I've totally got he went to the church like I totally got HIV.
Yeah, testy cancer.
And then he
Yeah.
went to the doctors and the doctors were like, no, you don't have HIV. Maybe you just have crabs or something. And he's like, I'm fucking healed. He went and showed everyone the test. I'm HIV negative.
She was not thinking through anything she said. From Game Guy, good to see. It says, sounds like dude was trying to get out of wearing a rubber. Hope Dahlia got tested. Oh. Yeah, I actually do. I hope that she's okay, to be fair. Somebody who is that, like, brainwashed and is willing to believe that level of stuff, it is concerning. Like, she's the type of person that would be taken advantage of, unfortunately. Okay. Let's see. Next super chat is from David. Welcome back. Last one was supposed to say, where do I send my money to get Dahlia help? Probably to Dr. Joe. And hopefully we can connect them because that's the only way she's going to get better, I think. And it's unfortunate, but it is true. Tired of liars, I'm with you. Only 10 to 13 people have ever been cured of HIV. So he should be on that very short list. I agree. If he actually was, then this would be a super, super rare medical miracle. And you better believe his doctors and everyone involved would be clamoring to be involved in the reports. Mediocre Thoughts says, who was the patient in the church? Was it a church leader that stood to expand his congregation by showing miracles? That's usually what happens, by the way. Most of the fake healers that I've seen are doing it to grow their base. What's the best way to prove that God picked you to be the leader? Oh, well, he fucking does miracles through me, obviously, duh. Guitar Secular coming in again says, it's funny how God only fixes a select few. A guy cough up a snake. Lady, you have lost your mind. The coughing of a snake was wild, especially when she then told me that she wasn't even there. She just saw a picture of the snake. What? It's hard.
Like, guys, this totally came out of me, you know?
Yeah. Believe me, trust me, bro. It really happened. Hey, the Atheist Mechanic, good to see you, friend. Speaking of snakes, if faith healers actually worked, the medical field would be non-existent. God couldn't give a person a hangnail, let alone heal anyone. Yeah, exactly. There would be no need for a hospital anywhere. And remember, the Bible does say, lay your hands on the sick and they will be healed. Yet, magically, they're not. David Brooke coming in again. Thank you. I prayed and my TV just turned on. Wait, my favorite arse was sitting on remote. Now I'm praying for a smaller arse. Listen, I don't think that prayer is going to be answered either. But I would say the same words of Jesus. Some things cannot come about except by prayer and fasting. That's how you'll get your answer, I suspect. Tired of liars again, Steve Martin. Oh, I love that movie with Steve Martin, Leap of Faith. Steve Martin did this in his movie Leap of Faith. He had all the tricks and exposed them. True. Now, the movie does end with like a spot of hope. Like there is a genuine miracle that convinces them to stop being a charlatan. So it kind of does that. But to be fair, it does at least show you the dark side of most of these traveling healing ministries. They do all that shit. Space Lord says Popoff is still on TV doing similar stuff. He is. He'll never learn. I'm sure he's still selling miracle water. And you guys remember Miracle Mana? That bullshit? No, dude, the crazy stuff they'll sell on TV. Basis, you know about this, right?
I think I've heard of something like that. I think I heard of the oil.
Oh, obviously there's going to be a miracle oil. Yeah. Let me see. The miracle of the mana. I think Peter did that once. Let me see. I forget who. It could have been Mike Murdoch. Let me see. Yeah, it was distributed by Peter Popoff. I knew it. Yeah. He was a charlatan for sure. I don't know. I've been documenting these frauds for a long time, actually. Eventually, I have to share my work. Base Share says thousands of people, mostly children, are starving in Gaza, but God feeds them? These kinds of do-nothing Christian make me so angry. I know. What's the point in sending missionaries when they're still starving to death? You have unlimited fucking power. Click your fingers and make food appear. What are you talking about? We're sending missionaries. It didn't work. And for 2,000 years, by the way. Qatar Secular, again, says, how can any animal live in stomach acid? I agree. That's what Venus was saying. It's crazy. Dahlia, I have hereditary spastic paraplegia. That's a tough one for me. Millions suffer from this, and God hasn't healed any. No. It's funny how the things that God heals are usually things that documented typically will go into remission, or sometimes they're not real problems. Or like back pain. Back pain, if you look at the statistics, like a huge percentage of back pain actually goes away on its own within 2 weeks. You don't actually have to visit a chiropractor typically unless you really have something wrong. Game Guy says, I found a World Mission International Bible College in the town Dahlia was talking about. Don't know if that's the one she's talking about. Maybe. Let me check it out. World Mission. I do think it was the one we found already, which wasn't a real Bible college. It was like a high school of some nature. But International Bible College in Lanham, Maryland. Right? International Bible College. I'm sorry. Wait. World Mission International. Holy shit. Okay. World Mission. Jesus, so long. That is such a long name for a school. Okay. I gotta tighten that up. World Mission International Bible College. This is definitely a diploma mill if I've ever seen one. Holy shit. This is the worst website I've ever seen in my life. Hold on. This is not the one I'm talking about. Let me pick it up real quick. I don't know if I've ever seen a website this bad. All right, I'm gonna have to even change the screen perspective to see if I can fit it. Okay, so what you're seeing right now is not my visual cutting the words off. This is the website. This is what it looks like even on my screen. This is it. Oh, I just scrolled and it broke. Oh, there goes something loaded. All I did was scroll. I have no idea what just happened. Apparently you can get a master's degree over here. Learn more.
You can make a better fucking website on Wix, bro.
I know. Holy shit. Okay. Program learning outcomes have strengthened foundations for enriching personal spiritual faith and developing spiritual maturity, have enhanced their understanding of biblical theology through systematic analysis of scripture in its social, historical, and literary settings, have an increased understanding and appreciation for diverse worldviews. Wow, that is vague as fuck. Let's see. Are they accredited? Let me check. I'm going to guarantee no. Academics says nothing about accreditation because they're not. Does the about page show accreditation? Oh, this is already bad. A ministry of World Mission International Worship Center. There you go. It's just another church school. They've got a doctrinal statement, and mentors, but no faculty. So that's not good. I doubt they even have a faculty list. This is it. This is the whole of their website. Okay. Well, there you go. If he teaches there, I would believe it. That is believable. At a legitimate college, no. Thank you for that, Game Guy. Steve Harvey Oswald says, I believe in the firmament because I just got Heavenly Dome. Also, you should check out the Professor Brothers Bible History short cartoon. I think I might have seen that one. Actually, let me check. See, I think that is one I've actually seen. Yeah, I have seen that one. It's a good one. It's been a minute though. Recommend it though. Definitely recommend it. Steve Harvey Oswald, hope you're doing well. Shirley Temple, good to see you again. Are the contributions to Venus's computer in Australian dollars? So you can donate in whatever format like you have for your source funding. It'll be converted into Australian dollars, and the GoFundMe page should show it, I think, in both formats. Let me check.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like from America.
I can show you. I'm gonna actually log into Studio to find the link because I've already got too many GoFundMe links hanging out in my history. I should have pinned it in the comments. I didn't think about that. Let me pin it real quick. All right, here is the link. I'll put it on the screen and then I'll put it in the comments too real quick. Let's see. Boom. It's in the vertical comments. And now it's pinned. And then I'll pin it up real quick in the horizontal comments. I should have did that at the beginning of the live stream. All right. But I saw what it was at when we came in, when we first got here. So I know, I think I have a general idea of where it'll be. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, pin, cool. All right, and then, oh shit! Oh, we're so close. We're like $300 Aussie dollars away, guys. I think we got to make it happen. We're so
Let's make
close.
it happen, guys. So we
Friends,
can
we're
put it
so
to rest.
close.
I can get this bloody computer.
Yeah, and I know people are going to see this number. Like, there's a lot of money for a computer. It's actually not. Right now, I don't know if people know, we are in the middle of a crazy RAM crisis. Computer prices are literally doubled right now. Some of them tripled. The computer I bought last year is now on used market is triple the price I bought it for. That's how bad computers are right now. You can't just go to the store and get one anymore. It's really, really bad. The ones you're going to get in store are absolute shit right now with like 5 gigabytes.
Computers on the Barbie. Everyone, could someone mute Happy Humanist?
So surely that's where you want to visit the link. But please, I think we can hit our goal. Ryan says, my ears are bleeding. Please drop her. You know what? I did finally figure out how far to move the volume slider. I might have to adjust the algorithm on the volume slider to act more at the opposite end, though. Dugum says, thanks for your work, Justin. I learned so much from your channel after I discovered your channel 6 months ago, after I could deconstruct it 2 years ago. Well, hell yeah. Glad you found me. And I hope my channel can empower people not just to go out and like debate the points, but defend themselves when Christians come up and think that you're crazy because you don't believe their nonsense. Omnipotent Mango back. Thank you for the super chat. Apologies. I may have misunderstood. Thanks for your content. Have a wonderful night from a fellow Ohioan. Well, fuck, what part of Ohio you're from? According to Google AI, we went to the same college apparently. Motherfucker, we got to know each other. That's cool as hell if true. I wonder. Now I got to know. We got to talk soon, all right? Atheist Mechanic, thank you for the super chat again. Caller, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and that which can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed similarly. Yeah, that's Hitchens' razor, right?
Occam's razor or Hitchens?
Hitchens' razor is
I think that might be Hitchens' razor.
Yeah, I like it. Did I tell you Occam's? Do you know about my bird Occam?
You have a bird?
Yeah, my girlfriend and I got 2 birds, and
no, you don't.
One of them is named Occam Razorbeak.
No, you don't. You don't have any birds.
It's true. They're right in the room.
No, you're pitching a joke. That's what you're doing. You're pitching up a joke. You don't have any birds. Have y'all seen these birds?
Yeah, they've seen them. Put a comment. Put bird emojis in the comments if you've seen the birds. They've been in and out. Oh, yeah. I'll bring them up next time you're on. I'll bring them out. Jeebus Fish says, having to shit is the only way the Browns will make it to a Super Bowl. I know. In fact, here in Ohio, when we go to take a shit, we'll say, I'm going to take the Browns to the Super Bowl. We literally say that. That's how bad it is. Sorry, not sorry. You don't have to be sorry. It's true. Truth hurts sometimes. No insult to the prophet of Doug. Always rock hard for Doug. And Justin's fucking rock. Well, Jeebus, do not worry about it. And beautiful German Shepherd.
So, a German Shepherd.
In his PFP, yeah. If you have an animal in your PFP, I'm going to notice it, friends. You guys know I love animals. Mike says, agreed. Catholicans are the worst. Herbie, my friend, great to see you. Thank you for the super chat. In response to Dahlia, there was a documentary on BBC TV a few months ago about TB Joshua. Yeah, he was fucking rough. I'd never heard of him before. It was suggested he was a con man, has been accused of SA a lot of women and girls. Yes, and the victims, by the way, have been speaking out. Like, there are testimonies you can go see right now on the YouTube.
He's insane. And Pastor Jerry Easy as well. They're all insane. Like rapists and like fucking frauds.
They're all of them. There's a reason why this is the case. Oh shit. Got some pizza downstairs. Crispy says, the Christian dictionary? You mean the Christianary? Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's listen. We had to get a good pun in here. Word play. Don't be sorry. I'll see myself out the door rock hard. I'm sorry. Never be sorry for a dad joke. Don't even dare. Even if you're not a dad, I'll let it slide. I'll loan you my dad card. It's going to be okay, I promise.
Unk status.
If you need someone to man the grill, call me. Mr. Yogi says, oh my God, Dahlia is cringe as fuck. It's actually painful to me because I actually think Dahlia might actually be a good person in real life. She's just brainwashed. She lost me after she said that she's seen someone float in midair. I'm no doctor, but she has to be schizophrenic. Well, so here's the thing. This is really funny. My mother was, I still use the word schizophrenic. I think there's a new word that you're supposed to use now. I keep forgetting what it is. But nevertheless, my mother was. I know the type. I've seen it where they will swear that things have happened that you fucking know didn't happen. And I've shared some of those stories here on the stream before, so I won't double up on it. But the reality is, if you've known one, you can kind of spot the others. Narcissus says, born in sin. Come on, Andre Lagoni. Wait, what? Is this like a thing I'm supposed to know about? Hold on. Born in sin. Andre Lagoni. Born in sin, come on in is a famous rhyming catchphrase spoken by the mysterious, menacing character Andre Lagoni in Stephen King's 1999 television series Storm of the Century. I fucking didn't see it. It's funny. I was, when that came out, I think was that the 2-part series? I forget. But I remember when that came out, I had a couple friends that like tried to get me to watch it. Because I love Stephen King, and I was like, I'll get back to it. And then I never did. Now it's 25 years later, and I've never seen it. So thank you, though, for explaining Narcissa. And there's the second half. Come on in. I mean, listen, we're all born in sin, according to the Christians, but Jesus died for nothing if we haven't at least sinned once. So the fact that you're born in sin means that Jesus has a purpose. You give meaning to Jesus, friends. So keep sinning.
Wait, I asked this guy on my live, I asked him, why did Jesus die? And he kept on saying, he said something super stupid, but I can't fucking remember it. I'm gonna look at the live clips because it had me fucking rolling. Like, he was just making shit up on the spot. He was saying we needed this something stupid, but I'll remember. I had it in my head before.
Yeah, so like, fuck, I lost it. I was going to say a response to that.
What's going
anyways,
on?
Venus, so there's a topic that I like to run called Jesus died for nothing. You have to, next time we run that, you got to come for that one. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, wake up at 6 a.m. Venus. We wake up at 6 a.m. I'll try my best. Sometimes I just don't end up sleeping the entire night. But I only did that once. For one fundraiser. I'm not. I think it was the first one. I just didn't end up sleeping because I was like so worried about waking up on time and disappointing everyone.
You're about to enter your bachelor's degree in biomedical sciences. I hate to tell you, but you're not going to sleep for a while. So
I know. Listen, I know how it goes. Like, at some point, my brain just says we've had enough, and the most I can do is copy notes, like just subconsciously. Like, you're just like not even actually like understanding what you're writing. You're just writing it.
Melinda, thank you for the super chat. What's that?
I need help with our studio when we get the computer because I have no clue how to use it. Yeah. It makes zero sense. Like I was watching the videos to try and like take notes on how to use our studio, but it doesn't make any sense at all.
I was actually just looking at this software. I don't know. I guess it's probably been it's been like almost 3 years now that I think about it. It feels like it was yesterday. I've seen it. I've seen it work. But I don't remember much about it. I do know it's fucking expensive. Is the school gonna pay for it? Because if you have to pay for it, it's like $1,000, isn't it?
No, we get it for free. We get it for
Oh,
free.
thank God.
But you do have to like have your own device.
Okay, yeah. I got 4 more super chats. I got to run. I'm past my time. Colby, thank you for joining our super chat. Hey, Justin, I'm a collaborator on the Mormon Stories podcast, and we'd love to discuss a project with you. I've sent you an email, but is there a better way for us to reach you about a potential collaboration? I'm going to tell you something. Email is the best way to reach me. It's just that summer times are really, really bad for me because I've got a lot going on. And also my son's out of school and I want to fucking maximize my time with my son. However, Colby, I will write a note real quick and check my email looking specifically for one from you. I would love to collaborate. I love interfacing with other people in the community, especially people who had a different background than mine, to hear about their stories. Because honestly, my background wasn't really, it wasn't traumatizing for me. I actually enjoyed my time as a Christian. It's just that it fucking wasn't true. Anyways, I'll get back with you ASAP, Colby. Thank you for letting me know. Honestly, outside of email, if you really need to get a hold of me, this is probably the easiest way. Just throw me a super chat and let me know what's up. Omnipotent Mango says, can I hit you up on Discord? It would be base as fuck if we happen to know each other or have mutuals, Lamau. Yeah, Omni. Hit me up. I've got about 400 messages in backlog, but now that I know it's critical, I'll dive in and look specifically for your message. To everyone that's in that backlog, I apologize. I am one man and I'm really busy. I'm doing the best I can.
Oh shit.
Brian says, if you see Kenneth Copeland's eyes and smile, you'll know souls are real because he must obviously eat his supply from his local orphanage. That guy, if demons existed, that would be the only proof, is that dude's face. It's really bad.
What's wrong with him? Why does he have like that fucking stare?
He's just like Skeletor. Adam says, do you like Tibet or do you think gambling is wrong? Sorry, I actually don't know what Tibet is. You mean like the location?
It's a place. It's a fucking pun.
Oh, do you like Tibet? Oh, fuck. You know what? Shame on me for not.
I knew that one, Justin. I can't believe this. And I barely ever know them.
That's on me. I'm ashamed, actually. Damn. I'm hanging my head at this point. Adam, great fucking joke. Amazing joke, actually. Listen, friends, I've got to run. I'm 12 minutes over. Venus, thank you so much for joining me. Friends, we are so fucking close to hitting the goal that I put in my heart. We need like $240 more. Let's make it happen. If you're watching this on replay, go to the site, friends. Contribute. It would mean a lot. There's a lot of us that remember that experience of being young. If you didn't come from money, getting yourself through college is a fucking nightmare. And nobody in my family went to college. I didn't come from any money. I was the youngest of 8 kids.
No one in my family went to uni either.
I just fucking had to figure that shit out on my own. I was broke. I was borrowing everything I had. It was a nightmare. So it's a hard time. Please help out. Anyways, friends, I love you. We'll see you again
please
on Monday.
tell me what computer to get. Justin, as soon as you can, please tell me what computer to get.
Justin.
I sure will. Yeah. Ems, thanks for joining me. Venus, I'll write down some notes and send them to you.
All right. Bye, Ems. It was nice to talk to you.
Bye,
I only got to say hi to him. Bye, everyone. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you guys so much. I don't do YouTube streams, but you might see me once I get this computer. I'll definitely be doing a stream there. So I love you guys so much. I appreciate all of your help. I send personal thank you notes on GoFundMe, but you're more than welcome to message me on YouTube if that works, or message me on TikTok if you want my PayPal, or if you just want to talk to me. Like, I only have Christians in my DMs. Like, it'd be nice if other people tried to say hi. But bye, guys, and bye, Justin. Thank you
Bye,
so
Venus.
much, W. Justin, the Deconstruction King.
Thanks for joining me. You're awesome.